Hi. What's up? It's the afternoon woke up. It's way in the afternoon, so you better be woke up. Chill the thrill with a message, a very important message that you can purchase the new history of the DC universe on March 30th. I know it doesn't come out till April, but you have until March 30th for the final order cutoff. That's all I wanted to say. How you doing, Darius?
I'm good. How are you? How was your day?
I
You
had a
went
pretty
out.
standard, pretty good day. Everything went well the way you wanted it to go. Yeah.
That's good. That's good. Yeah, my day was pretty normal. I took the day off. To be honest, I didn't do shit today. I didn't do anything today. I was well, that's not true. I did things in the studio today because I'm still not. I'm I'm still moving in the house. Still unboxing. Well, main stuff is done. I'm still doing the studio. That's gonna take forever. It's a lot to do. I have way more figures than I thought I did. So lots to do. But other than that, my day has been pretty chill. Chill.
You're a regular old chillmonger. Let's begin with some news items. So on the thumbnail, you see pictures of the Oscars. That is the biggest news story of the day. So we'll dip and we'll re-enter that. I think the Aldous Hodge and the Damson Idris quotes are gonna go back to back over here. Okay. I thought Damson had a great quote, but then Darius presented something to the chat, which was something cool that Aldous Hodge had to say. So let me find that. Did you send it in the private in the messages?
It's in the messages. I don't know if you're frozen on everyone else's screen.
No, I should be fine.
You're fine now,
What's
yeah.
up, Lawrence? This is a good Monday. Michael B. Jordan and Ryan won. Yeah, I mean, the perfect scenario would be that they got the Best Picture award, best song, and everything else that they were nominated for. But you are allowed to now say that Michael B. Jordan is an Oscar winner, and that's beautiful. And same with Ryan Coogler for his not adapted. What's the other one? Original screenplay. For original screenplay, he wrote something. He got an award. You would prefer if it was Best Director also, but he got something. So if you're into that sort of stuff, then yes, these guys won their Oscars. Ryan, I hope you never campaign for another Academy Award again. You got it. You're good. You're set. You bring that to negotiation table at every movie pitch meeting that you ever have. You're good. Please do not make the rounds again trying to win an award and seek validation because it's not healthy.
I'm glad he got it.
Darius, you were a little blurry, he said.
Hmm.
He's not blurry here. I don't see blur. No, it's not that blurry. It's not perfect, but it's fine. It's just a little. Wolverine said, congratulations, Coogler and Jordan. Still riding high on Ryan and MBJ's wins. Okay, you guys, okay. You now have to say Oscar winner Michael B. Jordan. I guess we'll never know what he's going to say if he didn't win. It improved. Okay, it improved. It improved. We're good. Now, hopefully, they use those wins to point to bigger and better things, to pivot to bigger and better things. Yeah. How much more bigger and better do you get than Black Panther, though? That's $1 billion movie. So he really doesn't need it to pivot because he's got the commercial success already. He's got the trust. That's why he was able to do Sinners because he's got the trust. Oh, this is Ryan Coogler, great filmmaker. He'll make us money. So he already had that. So what? Like this is like a bonus. Like what is it? What did he really need this award for? But he's got the award now too. He is Christopher Nolan. He is Steven Spielberg, Spike Lee.
I'm happy for him. I'm happy for him. I was happy for him. I was happy for Michael B. Jordan. Every award Sinners won last night, I was happy for them. Despite me not even being the biggest fan of the film, I was happy for them because of course I'm rooting for everything black, and the fact that it was just pissing so many people off, I loved it. So yeah.
No, see, it's just because Timothy Chalamet said that about ballet and opera. That's why.
Yeah, I've seen so many people trying to say, the fact that it won, comparing it from dusk till dawn. I've seen people saying that Michael B. Jordan's performance wasn't even that good compared to Timothy Chalamet's and Marty Supreme. But it's so funny to me that we do this Twitter, this online dance that we do. Last week it was, or not even last week, earlier this week. No, it was last week. Sorry, last week it was Timothy Chalamet he's an uncultured swine. He doesn't know this. He doesn't know that. He's definitely out of the running for the Oscar now. To last night, it's he had such a better performance than Michael B. Jordan. Now, granted, these could be bots. These could be just racist, dumbass people with 6 followers on Twitter. But the fact of the matter is, a lot of these tweets were getting quote retweeted or retweeted rather with thousands and thousands of likes or thousands and thousands of retweets. And it again, it's just this dance that we do, because come time for June, because it's still going to be the same thing about Timothy Chalamet. I don't know if people are still crying about the ballet thing. That didn't bother me or hit my feels like it hit everybody else. But if people are still doing that dance with him, being upset with him about that, come time for Dune, he's going to be called the Lizzie, whatever the fuck it is, Ghalib again. Everybody's gonna be calling him again. So it's like it's fake. It's not real, bro. And it's so frustrating seeing so many people try to discredit or just trying to shit on Black Joy.
It is the same people over and over again.
Yeah.
We got to take advantage of them. You know what I should say? Remember how I started this stream and I was like, oh, go check out Static? I should be like, hey, you know who doesn't want you to know this? That the FOC is March 30th? It's Geeks and Gamers. They said this. And then you know how people will be like, oh, shit, they said that? Okay, I'm going to order the comic book now. Yeah, you got to just use them to your advantage. The usual stuff. I should super chat on their channel and say, what do you think of Static? And just wait for them to say something and go, you see, guys, you clip it and you go, can you believe that? You get some noise and then everyone buys the Static comic book. You got to use them to your advantage. Or they go, oh, that's great. Thanks for the money. And they don't say anything negative. I'm just saying. It could go either way. Nope. The opera comments went viral after the Oscar stuff closed. Now, what could be said is that they felt bad for Michael B at the BAFTA, but then that would take away from his talent. So BAFTA happened and the votes were not in yet for the Oscar awards. Okay. Oh, I'm not that guy.
They still may have closed, even though he made those comments after the voting or whatever for the Oscars may have already been decided, and maybe that is the case. Maybe they felt sorry for Michael B. Jordan, or maybe it was just purely he was more talented than Timothy Chalamet. However, it still does not take away the fact that online all week, that's what people were talking about. All week. That's what people were talking about. You had what's his big stars commenting on Timothy Chalamet's comment. So it doesn't matter if the polls were closed or not. Even if the polls were closed, do you truly believe? Do we really know how things operate behind the scenes? Do we truly know that just because the polls were closed, that somebody can't say, "Oh no, let's change this at the last minute," or "This is the chatter online, let's change that"? Yeah. We don't know what's really going on. I just recently learned this week that it's illegal to talk to dolphins. You can spend up a year in so we don't know what the fuck is going on.
I heard dolphins are like one of the smartest animals, so like you can't talk to them. That's creepy.
Yeah, no, it is illegal. It is illegal to marine biology law to speak to dolphins, and that was a law that I went on down a huge rabbit hole, brother, last week talking about it, or listening to it. It went into effect because NASA did a experiment on dolphins trying to communicate with dolphins. And what they found is maybe that could be telepathic. I don't know. Maybe they really did communicate with them, because as soon as they did the program, they shut the program down and immediately said it is illegal to talk to dolphins. And if you do talk to dolphins, you can spend up to a year in prison. I think it's up to a $10,000 or $100,000 fine. Yeah, it's like they're the only species that you cannot directly speak to.
Unreal.
Yeah. So what do they know? Did that dude that said that, I don't know, did you see that story? That's where all this came from. Last week, there was a story that some dude said he got drugged down to the depths of the ocean by 4 dolphins that made him build something for them, The head dolphin's name was Gerald. They said that he'd be back for phase two. They said when they tested the man that he had like particles and like deep sea particles in his lungs and all that kind of stuff. And all this guy, I don't know. But it's illegal to talk to dolphins. I did go down a rabbit hole, and I do believe in the conspiracies. I'm a conspiracy theorist, so
I'm seeing it a lot too, and I try not to discredit them because there used to be people saying about how these child sacrifices are important and all that stuff, and that's why they allow abortion. And I would see all these child sacrifice things, and then you would see that during the latest release of all these files, you'd see basically that being confirmed. I was gonna say the humiliation ritual that Michael B. Jordan just went through at the BAFTAs, maybe why he got his Oscar. And I've seen that stuff too. And I try not to discredit just because I don't personally believe it or think that way or even like welcome these thoughts. When I see a video like that, I go, you know what? That's the world. That it very likely was a humiliation ritual for Michael B to get his award. Yeah.
I mean, we just don't know. There's just, I'm getting to the point. It's not getting to the point. I've known this, but as I'm getting older and just, there's so much we don't know. There's a way we think things operate, but then there's a way that things actually operate. Like, so we don't know, bro. We don't fucking know. We're just here. We're just specks of dust on this timeline. I mean, we have nothing more. It's crazy. It's crazy.
And Nan's in the building. Wa alaikum assalam. How's your Ramadan going? He says, I loved Static back in the day. I love Static today. When I heard that he was going to be in this comic book, I had to go and cop it. That's not even the one that they were advertising. He was just a surprise appearance, so it's a little bit more valuable today. I wonder what the next big project Michael B. and Ryan got next. Mansa Musa. They're going to go to a West African empire known as the Mali Empire. This was in the 1500s, so it even precedes slave trade. So, a lot of escapism for that.
That's going to be great.
Yeah, I hope that's going to be great too. Michael B won on his own merits. Timmy C needs to take the summer off and then come back in the fall to promote Dune. He's like, damn, what did I date a Kardashian for? I didn't even get my award.
It's the curse.
So Michael B. Jordan's black Louis Vuitton suit looked like it was from the year 2500. So clean. I'm gonna pull it up. This one.
Yes,
I'm going to
Go ahead.
Oh, I'm just telling you. Yeah, I'm aware of that. During my studying of this past week, I found that out. But that doesn't mean there's no conspiracy there. You have to explain to me why NASA immediately stopped the program into dolphins and put that law into effect. It's not because talking to them can disturb their habitat. What? You're not worried about disturbing any other mammal's habitat in the ocean when you're polluting it and doing the other shit that you're doing, but yet you're worried about us speaking to dolphins. Come on, brother. I wasn't born yesterday.
Dolphins are aliens confirmed. Chill knows Gerald the dolphin cousin. No, I don't. Pam says, well, Gerald the dolphin has men building underwater communities. Who's going to jail? Somebody white. There was a total of 11 black people at the Oscars last night. Is that right?
Really?
Like, no. Nominated? You mean? What does he mean? Before last night, did you know MBJ's dad was from Ghana? This is the answer you're not looking for, but yes, I did, because if he's from the States, I automatically assume that he got there from the west coast of Africa. So he's from the region of Ghana or Benin or Togo or Nigeria. Like he'd be from one of those places. So yeah, I guess. But shout out to Michael B though for even mentioning his dad and being like, hey mom, thank you, mom. I love you, mom. Dad, where are you? And you can even hear his dad on the broadcast. I thought that was important. That was like the black father is present. And I am not overlooking that. I am not trying too hard to look with my magnifying glass for that. He was very black from the beginning. The first thing he said was, God is good. And if you go to Christian churches, Darius, that's a thing where you say all the time. I don't know, maybe you didn't know that or not, but that's the thing that I picked up. But that's like a very black thing to say. and then he went with he said something else that was very black, and I was like, that was cool. Oh, when he mentioned Halle Berry and all the previous award winners too, I'm like, yeah, that's like very smart. Like I wouldn't be here without who did it before me, Sidney Poitier and everyone down the line. And he had them all in order too, which was cool of him. I love the beginning to end. Like that was just a fantastic um award acceptance. Like you don't get grades for winning awards, but he gets an A+ for winning that award.
Yeah. Yep. Saying is God is good all the time, and all the time, God is good. If you've been to a black church, you know that me and Marcus always talk about that video with Candace Owens when they told her that on the Breakfast Club. That shit is so funny. He said, God is good. She said, Amen. Oh, that's so funny.
You see the Chip and Dale one where the guy says God is good, and the Chip and Dale actor, you could tell he was black. No, I'm gonna find it. I'm gonna find the mascot of Chip and Dale. Pam corrects you. She says no. Michael B's father's from L.A. His father lives half the year in Ghana. He's not Ghanaian. Then conflicting reports. Either way, he is from that portion of the world through his ancestry before the boats, and so that's why he looks the way that he looks. Pan-Africanism, everybody.
Yeah, no. I physically watch the Oscars? No, I don't ever. I didn't even watch the year that the slap happened. The Oscars is not my thing. But do I pay attention to the clips and who's won and things like that as they go viral? Yeah, I do. And when I saw the ones last night for Ryan, I thought his speech that he gave was good. I thought it was cool having Robert and Chris Evans present it to him, his fellow Marvel buddies. Yeah, I thought it was great. Michael B. Jordan winning, it was good. Yeah, Miles Canton's performance, bringing
somebody take me.
Yeah, bringing that to life. That performances, all the different areas of black culture on stage, where it was magic, and it was on a big stage in front of. And if what is being said is true from Fabric, that there were only 11 black folks in attendance, period, then that was a great showcase for everyone there to see our culture on one of those stages like that in front of all those eyes. So it was great. I loved it. That's why I said I loved it. It was pissing people off, and I loved that we just continue to win despite whatever. So
the 11 people maximize their minutes like Bam Adebayo. Everybody's still mad at that. I just love it. This is the video I was thinking of.
By black people.
Thank you. Okay.
All right. Yeah.
Right. Yes, let's see.
Write it down. Scripture says, write it down, make it plain. Amen.
Hallelujah.
Amen.
Amen.
Amen. God is good.
All the time.
How to tell the difference.
You could tell. You could tell. He said all the time.
that's cool. That's cool.
Let's go to this Aldous Hodge video that I had trade up. It's from Deezus and Mello, or whatever their podcast is called.
And shout out
you spoken about.
Shout out to my friend Latrell. He sent this to me. I probably wouldn't have seen this until maybe it went viral or something. So he sent it to me, and we have listened to Aldous Hodge speak on the Black Panther before. We've listened to him speak on this role. As of maybe 2-3 weeks ago, as the most recent. He is, every time to me, it's very eloquent. It's very, he hits every nail on the head, because he has been saying and echoing. I won't even say echoing, but because he's probably never even seen our shit, but he says the same things that we have been saying for the past 4 to 5 years, and how important it is. But this one here, where he's speaking to Mello, this brother spoke, and I want everybody to listen to what he is saying here. This is great. This is great.
You've spoken about how meaningful a role like T'Challa would be. If you are entrusted with that Black Panther role that is so culturally significant, what would carrying that mantle mean to you?
To me, as I've spoken on this before, like that to me is a very delicate situation where people would have to first understand the value of what it is and what it has laid down in order to understand how to carry it forward. So if you're going to step into it, it's not a situation of, oh, I'm just coming in to be an actor and I'm this cool role in this. Unfortunately or fortunately, you're going to have to realize you're carrying on a legacy that was already started by Chadwick Boseman, may God rest his soul, and Ryan Coogler. Regardless of who it is that steps into those shoes, I think you got to walk with that awareness, because whether you want to or not, it's not up to you. That's the effect that's going to be had, and that's the expectation of the audience. They're going to expect that you come in there with that degree of reverence and respect to actually push that legacy forward. So as long as you carry that and you know it's there, step into it. You know what I'm saying? Right now we see, Letitia Wright, she carrying the man. We shout to Letitia, but if they ever bring somebody else to step in as, T'Challa or maybe playing his son, also T'Challa, or like an alternate, version,
There's
whatever.
a bunch of multiverses now and stuff. They can do anything with that.
But the thing is, there's an extra value added to the representation and the symbology of that character that must be acknowledged if you're going to step into the role, because it's not like, Chad would walk away from the role. It's not like he left. Unfortunately, he passed. He was still in his bag. You know what I'm saying? We all still mourn that. I didn't even know Chadwick well. I'd met him, and he's real cool. Great energy, gave me respect. They gave him respect and all that. And I ain't gonna lie, when I heard the news, I cried. I didn't even know him like that. But I understood what we lost. I understood what it meant, and it hurt.
Definitely.
So you got to understand the value of it. It's special. There are a few roles in this life that have an extra sort of weight to them, and that's one of those that supersedes the nature of fantasy or superheroism or any of that. It has an extra added value that has to be regarded.
And it's rare that like a role like that is available. You know what I mean? Like it's almost like
far and few in between.
I think it's the most sought after, talked about like role in cinema right now. It's like, who's going to be that guy to be the next person? Almost like when they're looking for a new James Bond or they're looking for a new Superman or a new Batman. It's like, who's the next Black Panther?
That's responsibility.
That's a huge responsibility.
Even more so for Black Panther than it is for James Bond or Batman.
Given the circumstances.
This is heavy as.
Where was that when Coogler was sitting on the couch?
Yeah, this wasn't the whole thing, because I wanted y'all to actually hear him speak. That was chopped and
Well, one thing I liked is what he said is he cried because he understood what we had lost. Man, this man just appreciates the entirety of what the character is. No, actually, there's one point where he didn't, where he just talked about the role and then he conflated it with the child, and then he even said the alternate universe, and those three are not all the same thing. I wish we'd have more ability to delineate between actual T'Challa and then naming his son T'Challa and the other options, but I still do like what he had to say. Did you just send it to me now?
Yeah, in the private chat.
Basketball, badminton, biking, be active.
Let me wait to skip this ad. It's a 9-minute video. At what point do I watch?
Here, turn it on real quick and let me hear what he says first. I'll tell you what skip to.
A role like T'Challa would be. If you are entrusted with that Black Panther role that is so culturally significant, what would carrying that mantle mean to you?
Well, to me, as I've spoken on this before, like that to me is a very delicate situation where people would have to first understand the value of what it is and what it has laid down in order to understand how to carry it forward.
Hear him here first.
I look at the Marvel of it all. I'm a big Marvel fan. I'm a big, I came up on graphic novels and all that, but Black Panther was, I believe, the first Marvel film to cross $1 billion at the box office, right?
Solo.
They were hitting high numbers before that, but I think it was the first one to cross $1 billion at the box office. People are surprised. I'm not, absolutely not. And they're like, well, why? Well, you have the wonderful nature of Marvel and all that, and the commercial aspect. That's crazy. And it's great and it's amazing. But culture pushed it over.
Yeah.
Because now you have a cool factor of how it is represented. Obviously, that doesn't happen without Ryan Coogler and him putting his touch on it, because he is aware enough and wise enough and talented enough of a filmmaker to understand how to make a great film. Where the brilliance comes in is he understands how to roll in culture in a very relevant way, where everybody gets a seat at the table and gets to enjoy it and gets to understand. He understands how to translate culture in a way where it's still honest to who we are as a people, while still leaving an open door for everybody else to come and enjoy.
Sinners.
The value of Chadwick playing this titular king, and what that meant was, because we don't get it as far as American cinema, we don't get it in real life.
Yeah.
He's
choppers.
speaking, bro.
We don't get our
Right.
That's why I wanted to
Queen
he's
Zingas.
speaking.
You know what I'm saying? We don't get our Patrice Lumumbas, our Tomas Sankaras. We don't get that.
Oh, so Patrice Lumumba was the leader in the Congos during the 60s, and the CIA and Belgium tricked him, took him out from Congo, and they've been oppressing and stealing the resources like cobalt ever since. Thomas Sankara, someone who died in 1989, but he got in Burkina Faso in the western part. He was the leader of that nation. Very effective socialism, all that good stuff, uplifting, and he was separating himself from the colonial ties and everything. But France didn't want that to happen. They just paid somebody to sell him out, and they found somebody, his best friend or one of his friends. I don't know if he was his best friend. Probably not his best friend if he killed him, but sold him out, killed him, and he was compromised. Like those two examples that Aldous Hodge just gave are those. Let me rewind it and go back.
Our Patrice Lumumbas, our Tomas Sankaras. We don't get that. But we have it in this fictionalized form through King T'Challa.
Bingo.
And the value of that representation for kids to say, regardless of how fictionalized it is,
Bingo.
I can still see myself in that. I can still see myself now through a lens of expectation of being that. That's what it means. You know, that's why it was so well received. That's why I made so much money, because the dollar spoke, because this is what the culture is aware of. They know this about themselves, and they're happy and relieved to see it reflected. So if you're going to step into it, it's not a situation of, oh, I'm just coming in to be an actor and I'm this cool role in this. Unfortunately or fortunately, you're going to have to realize you're carrying on a legacy that was already started by Chadwick Boseman, may God rest his soul, and Ryan Coogler, regardless of who it is that steps into those shoes. I think you've got to walk with that awareness, because whether you want to or not, it's not up to you. That's the effect that's going to be had, and that's the expectation of the audience. They're going to expect that you come in there with that degree of reverence and respect to actually push that legacy forward. So,
and see, Stamina kind of just took the words out of my mouth. When I listened to this earlier, I had already said some of these things, thinking out loud, talking out loud, and I feel this exact same way. As much as some of us are championing, because not everybody, but some of us, because that's who they're leaning toward, and it's for some of us. He was on some of our top 3, top 5 lists, and he was on my top 3 list. Damson was, and still is. But as much as we are pushing for Damson, I agree, and said the same thing earlier. He is not carrying this type of energy. He is not talking about it this way in interviews. He's not even talking about it. Now, granted, he's not talking about it because maybe he can. It's not something that Marvel's announced to the public yet or whatever. But even though you have not been given the role publicly, you've been given the role, I believe, privately, but not publicly, you still don't have to tell us in an interview when asked about T'Challa or asked about the Black Panther or anything like that you have the role, and still give this type of energy toward whatever answer you're giving. Because to me, I'm thinking, and I don't know how Damson thinks outside of the interview he gave with Sister Girl's podcast a long time ago. Forget her name, where he was talking about how it was a black project and how it's important and how he's from
fighting for us.
Yeah, that conversation. Outside of that conversation, I really don't know how he feels towards it being cultural, being bigger than just a Steve Rogers, being bigger than just a Tony Stark. This is not just your average everyday Marvel character. This character holds a lot of weight. This character, I mean, we've talked about it for years and years and years. We've known about this when you first picked up the Black Panther comic, whenever it was for you, you knew that instantly that this is not an ordinary Marvel character. I don't know if he knows that. I don't know if he feels that way towards it because he hasn't given this type of energy. And I agree also with what Xavier said earlier. What more does Damson Idris need to do? Because I even feel here, Alice Hodge need to do. I even feel here he is even giving more praise to Coogler than I've seen him in past interviews give praise to Coogler as a director, as for what he set up for in this universe. Now he feels different about it than I do. About what Coogler set up in this universe, but neither here nor there. But I think that I hope that Damson starts to come with this type of energy, because this is the energy that I want in whoever plays T'Challa. The understanding that he has with this character. And like Eugene also said, he's been talking about this since 2012. We've covered that article that, from Fandom Wire or whatever it was, that he did, where he was talking about how important it was then, how he was talking about how, it's important for Black kids to have the same things we all talked about. And what I love about this too, is it also validates other things that we have said in the past about how to those people out there, and maybe some of you are watching, I doubt it, but to those people out there that have said in the past, and maybe still say that, it really is not that big or it's not that deep. Yeah, it is. It is. This is not, this is not your Steve Rogers. This is not your Tony Stark. This isn't Wanda. This isn't, or any of those other people. This character holds so much more weight than a Steve Rogers. He holds so much more weight than a Tony Stark or Reed Richards. As much as you love those characters, and I do too, this character exceeds them on so many different levels. And I'm not talking about power sets. But we can go there. I'm not talking about power sets. I'm not talking about level of intelligence or anything like that. I'm talking about.
But we can go there too.
We can go there too. I'm talking about how
we got more money. We can go there.
I'm talking about how deeply it affects the culture. It affects a level that y'all will never understand being outside the culture. And there are some folks that are even in the culture, like Ernie and some others, MT and those other YouTubers out there that don't understand, that can't understand recast T'Challa. It was never, again, about any of that other stuff. Aldous is speaking on it, and that him speaking on it is, for me, what it's been for me the 4 or 5 years that I've been talking about this. So,
right,
love it.
I'm not with that anti-woman Letitia Wright hate or anything like that. Yeah.
Yeah.
One thing I did, I'll keep playing, but one thing I did while you were talking was I left a comment that says magnificent, but please let it be T'Challa and not Nakia's son aged up. And I wrote that because when you write a comment on YouTube videos, you boost it and it's more likely it'll be seen by more people. I also hit thumbs up. I would encourage every single one of you guys to do the same thing. And then go to like my comment to make it the top comment, to make it be seen that T'Challa is not it.
As long as you carry that, it's there, step into it. You know what I'm saying? Right now, we see, Letitia Wright, she carrying a man. We shout to Letitia, But if they ever bring somebody else to step in as, T'Challa or maybe playing his son, also T'Challa.
I hate, see, that's the part that bugged me when I heard it the first time.
I don't like that part either.
And that's why it was such a slick move to do, to just name the kid T'Challa also.
But I feel like because of what we know from, I forget, was it the producer or showrunner on Cross or whatever that did the interview that said him and Aldous talk about it privately, but they don't want to talk about it really because they don't want to jinx anything or whatever. You remember that conversation, light skinned brother. I wonder if in those private conversations that they've had, if he maybe he agrees with the kid, maybe he doesn't agree with the kid, maybe he I don't know, maybe he doesn't, maybe he sees the I don't know. But as I said, he's complimented Coogler way more in this than I've seen him compliment Coogler in the past. Maybe in those private conversations that has been said, hey brother, maybe when you do get asked, zhuzh up Coogler a little bit, or whatever. Because I think mentioning the child, which he's also he didn't do in the most recent interview that before this one, when he was asked somewhat similar questions about this, he didn't bring up the child. Maybe that's a part of it. Like, hey, the kid, that's T'Challa too. That's, his version, blah, blah, blah. Just put it out there, play the game, get the role.
Fine, I can give him that. He hasn't until he plays T'Challa grown up. I'm not going to be mad at it until it happens.
Knowledge if you're going to step into the role, because it's not like Chad would walk away from the role. It's not like
skip ahead 30 seconds.
You got to understand the value of it. It's special. There are a few roles in this life that have an extra sort of weight to them, and that's one of those that supersedes the nature of fantasy or superheroism or any of that. It has an extra added value that has to be regarded.
Yeah, and it's rare that like a role like that is available. You know what I mean? Like it's almost like
very far and few in between.
I think it's the most sought after, talked about like role in cinema right now. It's like, who's going to be that guy?
Responsibility.
It's a huge responsibility.
It's even more so for Black Panther than it is for James Bond or Batman. This is heavy as head with his crown at that point in time. Like, are you willing to take on that responsibility, that spirituality that comes with that too? It goes deeper than just saying action and cut and it's a spirituality with that too, especially if you going into that character. That's a different character, because you can't go into that character without understanding and addressing what came before you, right? So, and that within itself is a whole nother play that you got to worry about. And if you ain't,
that's why he's the real Mello. That dude on the Charlotte Hornets has nothing on this dude. He called him T'Challa by name, speaking about the spirituality, the responsibility. Shout out to Mello.
Ain't strong enough to handle that, don't even come out for the role. That's basically what's what's being said.
It's gonna be scrutinized like a politician.
Yeah,
that's how it's gonna be looked like.
It
like
will
that
be.
person.
But I think to your point about being strong enough to handle it, I think that something that you have to consider, because there are a lot of actors who don't want to have to consider those things, and to a degree, the fairness in being able to just play a role and have it be separated from who you are in your life should be applied, but that's not always the case. I think the difference here is, to your point of having the strength to take that on, is that I think Chadwick carried the same grace in his real life that was reflected on screen, so you couldn't really separate the two. It's always going to be synonymous. And I
didn't like that. I didn't like that part either.
Yes.
That was just for you, Ryan. Like you said, he's got to play the game.
And that there becomes the expectation.
Yes.
And are you fit? Are you prepared? Are you, even gristled enough to wrestle with yourself to even stand in that? Because that is the expectation.
Yeah. There's certain roles that like you can separate the man from the joint, but like If you get cast as Batman, you Batman everywhere. You know what I mean? If you get cast as Black Panther, you
unless you do a weak Batman, and then you
still always get the Batman sort of, you know what I mean?
Bad Batman.
Like Clooney, you look at Clooney, you're like, all right, he was Batman.
You don't want to be the bad Batman, though.
Nah.
You don't want that on your resume.
Hell no, man.
Nah, man. Nah, but shoot, Batman, or even like, I know with Joker, we always talk about who was the best Joker.
Yeah, that's right.
And, look, I'm a huge Jack Nicholson fan. That was my very first real encounter with Joker, but Heath Ledger, he got that.
Big time.
I mean, shoot, it's almost like the same.
Hands down, drop the mic.
Yeah,
it's the same. It's the same way that they're gonna look at the Black Panther joint. Like it was done so well. It followed some unfortunate circumstances where the person lost their life, and now it's always gonna be. That role's always going to be judged on the level that Heath Ledger made it. Black Panther's always going to be judged by the level that Chadwick Boseman made it. Exactly. So it's like, It's gonna be. Yeah, I think you make a solid Black Panther, man. I think you.
Let's do it.
Appreciate
that. All right,
Ain't nobody called me. Okay, just let y'all. Ain't nobody. They be like, oh, we heard. You ain't heard nothing. Trust me. I'm. Don't give me no smoke with Marvel talking about. You said I ain't say nothing.
He want the role.
Ain't nobody
That's what
called
he's
me.
saying.
I'm just saying, like, let's keep it. Because I want to see, like, if they do it again as a fan of it all. I just want to see it done well and done right.
7 p.m. in Brooklyn.
I mean, I don't know. I agree. What more does he need to do to get this role? I champion that man to get this role for sure. He gets it because he gets it. He gets it. It's not just a paycheck. It's not just a something cool to do because it's a part of Marvel. It's a deeper role than getting cast again as Steve Rogers or Tony Stark or any of those others.
Certainly. I'm looking for the Damson Idris one now where he was speaking with
Watch what alcohol does to stuff.
Kevin Frazier and Nichelle Turner. So that had to be a good interview.
Oh,
Look at him.
What kind
Coming
of fur
over
is
here.
that? I don't know. I can't say. I just know it's Prada.
Let me just skip ahead to the part where he talks movie.
Just know it's Prada.
Rich.
No, we do that. Yeah. From Brad to Javier Bardem, they are, and that's true.
Children of blood and bone come to the set. Didn't get a chance to talk to my man because I get it. You were in your bag when you're acting.
Mm-hmm.
But tell us now that I can talk to you about it. What can we expect from this movie? I'm so excited about it. I love the books.
Yeah.
What can we expect from this movie?
Man, I'm not gassing it up. Expect everything. This is going to be the biggest moment of film history, and I'm not playing.
Wait. The biggest moment in film history.
Yes, you heard it here.
Okay.
First.
All right. And tell her you're sorry. Tell her you're sorry that you all didn't get to talk.
And I'm so sorry that we didn't get
on
to
the
talk. I was in
plane.
an African accent with a special look, and I didn't want to break character, but here I am now.
Wow.
You're here, and we can talk about it. Now, we're going to talk about it for a minute, though, because I'm with you. I'm really, really excited about this and kind of what you guys have put together.
Oh, that's
with
exciting.
Gina, because she's incredible. So having her helm this, Gina Prince Bythewood, having
Genius.
her helm this, what was that feeling like?
I mean, we trained, with different sword fighting and the history of Africa, of course. It was such an amazing book. And now we're bringing it to the screen. It's Paramount. It's Idris Elba, Cynthia Erivo, Tuso Mbedu, Amanda Sternberg, Viola Davis, Regina King, Chiwetel Ejiofor.
God, that's
this
a
guy
cast.
who's like, okay, called Damson Idris. Tossing Cole. I mean, the cast is just astounding. Lashana Lynch.
Yeah.
Are you ready for like a trilogy? Because there's 3 books.
I mean, we'll see how the first one does first.
he said, hold on. Easy.
I'm trying to keep you paid, brother. I'm trying to keep a check in your pocket.
But does it feel like, hey, we got one? We've watched all these other movies about all these people all these times, and finally, we got one.
Yeah, this one's for us. It's for everyone, but it's for us.
That is so
We're gonna
dope.
show up.
All right.
That is dope as fuck. And I love that last question. Does it feel like we got one? I love that. Yeah, that's dope. And him saying that this is going to be a moment in film history, that's exciting.
For him to not meet with Nichelle when she came all the way to set on South Africa, but he had to be in character. He was in his accent. He was doing his thing. So that level of commitment's crazy. And then the way he was promoting it as this would be the biggest movie ever and the most important movie, or whatever his specific wording. Sorry, I forgot it. He just said it. But that if you're gonna come to the podcast and if you're gonna come to the morning shows with that attitude, then I'm very glad that you're attached to this project. And then plus it's everyone else. Like, who doesn't want to interview Viola Davis, Chiwetel Ejiofor, everyone he just named. But every single one of them have their go-tos in the media who can help boost this thing. There's going to be probably 7 interviews with Ebro of cast members coming over here. Like this thing is going to make a lot of good impressions, right? And of course we want the trilogy. Come on. We want 3 movies, bro.
Yeah, no. Again, if it is what he is saying it's going to be, then yes, they'll likely get those 3. And I love that. It just again more winning for us. Keep pushing more of that content that is for us, by us, appreciated. That's great. And it's sci-fi, so fantasy. So that's great too. It's fantastic.
And sword fighting. Oof.
Yeah.
So, chat, who had the better interview this week? Was it Damson Idris or Aldis Hodge?
That's actually tough. That's actually tough. Because Damson's was very exciting, and so is, I don't know. I'm going to give it to Damson because I've heard Aldis say these things before. And Damson is something that I can actually look forward to. Aldis is something I want. He's not playing T'Challa. Damson, I know that's coming.
You know what though? I think we got to give points to the interviewers also, because they were on point too with some of the questions that they were asking and gave enough space and time for them to give the answers we wanted. So salute to ET, and is his name Kazim Fueda, the guy who next to Mello? That dude. Shout out to both of these guys, both entities. So chat, let us know who you got. Who had the better interview today? Puma says Blood and Bone is for Damson Idris. T'Challa is for Aldis Hodge. Yeah, he plays Prince Enon, so Damson's already gonna get to be royalty in his movie. So, but I think he's already been casted as a Black Panther.
But I wonder again. I just wonder what that means. Is that for Doomsday, or possibly Doomsday, for sure Secret Wars, moving on into Black Panther 3 and beyond? Or is that just for these movies, or these next two Avengers films, especially if Children, Blood and Bone is what he is saying it's going to be? Does he, I mean, that's kind of like when people were saying that Paul Bettany was going, the rumors of Paul, which he debunked, but the rumors of Paul Bettany being, which he could be lying anyway, rumors of Paul Bettany being Voldemort. And I was like, okay, well then Vision must be dead, because there's no way you can be Voldemort. And to me, I don't know the film schedule. I would think though that because they're saying Voldemort's in every season. So yeah, so I would assume he would have to be pretty done with Vision, but he debunked the whole thing anyway. So I say the same thing for Damson. If he is going to be Prince Enon and Children of Blood and Bone, is he going to be able to be T'Challa and juggle the Marvel schedule of whatever they're wanting T'Challa to show up in, or the Black Panther to show up in, and do 3 films? I don't know what the turnaround is for the second film, the production schedule and all that shit, if it gets a second film, which I'm sure it will.
Hope so.
But would he have the time? Is what I'm saying, basically.
Yeah, I hope he gets it. Somebody wrote something about will it actually succeed? I forget what your wording was, but I saw that in the chat, and I'm like, I think it will. I think people will show up and come through, because you're only asking them to come and see a movie, which is something people do anyways. And it's happened before, where with Black Panther, where excellent cast, and it turns out people showed up and paid to watch the movie. So it's just a matter, and it's proven. It's a proven book, New York Times bestseller. The audience exists, so I'm not really worried. No, I am worried, because I'm gonna be worried. But I think there's a good chance that we will make this a big movie. 700 million maybe. Let's go to the super that was sent a very long time ago, but he sent it right as we changed over to the Aldis Hodge Damson Idris clip. As always, thank you for the support. I am 2FlyCam. Congrats to Michael B. Jordan. Cross Seasons 2 is not as good as Season 1. I don't know. I would agree with you. Cross Season 2 has got some problems, but wait for them to stick the landing. Season 1 ended it so amazing, and it was already a good show, but ended it crazy. So what's the twist going to be here with episode 8? So let's wait till Wednesday.
He said, I don't know.
He said, I don't know. No, we're with you. We're with you. Now, and or we're not, but we're with you with the cross. Both are fine denying that by any stretch. No denying that by any stretch. Yes.
Yeah, I agree. No, I mean, they're both on my top 3.
Do Marvel care about black characters? Do they?
No. Planet Poppy. Nothing. Heard nothing.
Okay, let's jump over to Avatar. Don't have a tweet. I don't have a video ready for you. But I saw a rumor that Paramount is less willing to take risks and things. So that season where the third Avatar after Korra comes out is considered to be risky. A Kyoshi movie is risky. A Avatar Han, Wan, Avatar Dawn, Avatar everyone is risky. But they would love to focus on an older version of Aang and the whole crew while they're still alive and make a series, multiple seasons featuring Aang as an adult. I think that is excellent. I don't have a desire to go, who's the third Avatar to get their movie or TV show? I don't care. I mean, I'm interested. We'll get there one day, but I love Aang so much that there's so much things to discover. How did they make the capital city? What about some of the other cities that are around in that big world? It's literally a planet that they share that they could be that the Avatar could be influencing. Maybe he makes an underground city, and that's why we never heard about it in Korra. Like we can do things with the characters we love, and I would way much rather be there. It's kind of like Star Wars, how people kind of want to see, well, let's have a Darth Vader series because yeah, we know what happens as towards his ending. We know what happens how he becomes Darth Vader, but there's still a solid like 17 years before Luke Skywalker's adventure that Darth Vader was just wrecking shop around the galaxy. I feel like that too. We still have a few years where Aang is there, and I want to follow him. So if this rumor is true, even though it's a business-minded rumor, we can get creative and work with what's financially, economically, trying to use a big word, but I'm losing words. We can use the most profitable decision, which is to feature Aang in the lead. We can do that and have great stories at the same time. Brian and Mike are capable of doing it. This is a win for capitalism. This is just something I want. Darius, there's rumors that Aang is going to be leading a cartoon, 2D cartoon for a multiple season TV show as an adult. Do you accept this? Do you reject it? What are your thoughts?
I reject. No, I'm joking. I'm joking. Of course I want more Aang. Aang is my bruh. Yes, I would love to see the Aang gang all grown, we're going on more adventures with them, and it's the same writers, same creators. Yeah, that's what I want. Because I'm being honest with you, I'm not down with this whole twin earthbending. One of them is a crippled deal. I'm not really into it. I don't really like it. The art didn't impress me either. So I would like to, just the poster for the Aang movie impressed me, and the original art that they showed us. So I would love to see that. That's what I want. Do more of that. I agree with you. We'll eventually get to whoever the next Avatar is. If you even want to kind of do that, maybe, I don't know, maybe not at the same time. That probably wouldn't work. But if you want to do that sometime later, fine. But I am all for continuing to follow the Aang gang right now.
The Aang gang. Yeah. The channel Avatar. I love. The channel that I love to watch that covers the Avatar is that guy called the Avatarist, and he did have a video recently that I saw, and I don't have YouTube Premium, so we got to sit through this ad for a second, but here's a picture of the adult cast. Katara looking all beautiful and a little bit taller. There's some more definition in those arms, isn't there, Katara? She looks good.
They're married by this point, aren't they? Yeah.
Oh, they'd have to be married by now. Yeah. Maybe they haven't had Boomy yet. Maybe not yet, but still, they're married. Fire Lord
looks great. He looks great. I love the hair. He looks great.
He's being voiced by Steven Yeun, right?
Yes, I would have preferred Danny Bosco. I just don't know. He's right there. I don't know why he didn't, but I'm cool with it. But Zuko's one of my favorite animated characters of all time. I think his arc is so. I mean, it's one of the greatest arcs of an animation to me, also. So, yeah, love Zuko.
They put some extra thought into it, and you know this. If he's going to make a bad decision, the camera's going to be on the right side of his face where the scar is. If he makes a good decision, the camera shows the left side of his face as he speaks. Okay, very symbolic. We got Toph. She looks a little bit taller, and I remember how she was shorter in Legend of Korra. So I guess she gets bigger and gets smaller. Okay, it is what it is. That's Toph for you. Nothing much to say. Still blind, but she can metal bend. And our boy Aang. That's not a good look at his face, but he's tall, significantly tall.
Still no facial hair. Didn't he have facial hair in the flashbacks of Korra? Or like a goatee?
Yeah, you're right.
or
He did. Yes.
So we're not at that point because that was at Capital City.
And that the earthbender behind down there, that's believed to be the villain of this. And Dave Bautista is going to do the voice, we think.
Yes,
but
Dave
yeah,
Bautista
Aang is not
is the villain.
I'm not mad at that, by the way. Having another airbender there, like, that's why not? Why couldn't there be an airbender who they weren't at the temple when the Fire Nation attacked? And they didn't even know they had the genetics to make an airbender child, and they did. But they knew you got to keep quiet because if we let the world know we have an airbender here, something will happen, you know? So I'm okay with it. It doesn't change the show.
Isn't that like, wasn't that rumored? Like the villain is another airbender?
Yeah, you can see his arrow. You see it?
Yeah, I see his. I was going to say he's got the tattoos, so. Yeah.
Got the tattoo, but not the shave. So what are you going for? You're supposed to shave and to get the tattoo. You can't do that.
And I'm fine with it also because it's like, well, we went the entire show with the purpose of what it was. He was the only airbender during the entire show. So that's fine. And then now once they're older, things have progressed, situations have changed. Like you said, this person could have been hidden away by someone or anything. So I'm sure that'll also be explained.
I'll play part of the video here from the Avatarist.
Is Dave Bautista's character. This is the villain of the movie. And now it's kind of funny. You wouldn't expect it because he's just chilling here. He kind of looks like he's part of the squad. So my theory is that he's introduced as a good guy. Aang relates to him. He's like, oh, another airbender. This guy's really cool. And then by the end of the movie, he reveals himself to be evil. Pretty cliche, but that's what I think is going to happen. You'll notice his airbender tattoos are just a little bit different than Aang's. The ones on his arm look like they're fully dotted in, but if you look at the one on his head, it's more akin to the ones in Juan's era. It almost seems like this guy is from deep in the past. Not exactly Juan's era, but pretty deep in there. Now, his outfit is actually the same as the Juan era airbenders. God, that's kind of hard to say. Except the red part is no longer kind of like, I think the Juan era airbenders had it as like more of a skirt, and this guy has it going over his shoulder. Is this guy the first male air nomad that we've seen that intentionally has hair? Excluding the Korra era airbenders. This guy has a full head of hair, it's just shaven down a bit with this long ponytail. We've only ever seen the female air nomads have something similar to this, never a male air nomad, so that's pretty interesting.
Yeah, he gets deep in the weeds. I never thought of it like that, how we didn't have a male have hair. But that's right. Probably the first time we've seen that.
Yeah, Cleves 17 said he read that it was time traveling airbender. So if he's from Juan's era, maybe.
Well, maybe he did the same thing where he put himself in an air bubble and an iceberg. Maybe.
Yeah,
that's not
they'll
creative.
explain it. No, they'll definitely explain it though. I mean, it's the creators, so.
As long as you make it in a way that doesn't cheapen the 3 seasons that I saw, don't make me wonder, well, where was he the whole time? Bringing it back to Star Wars. I don't ask, where was Ahsoka the whole time? I understand.
And it with that, it flows brilliantly, actually. So I love it with that. But with another example of that is with the Eternals. Don't pull at that with what Marvel has done, because that is what everyone's asking. Where the fuck were you the whole time? Or with the X-Men, however they're going to explain that, because that'll be the same thing. Well, where the fuck were you the whole time?
Yes,
so,
they
yeah.
would.
So yeah, I like it. I like it. Let's do that. And I'm not against handicap individuals. I said I just don't understand why she had a prosthetic leg or was didn't get it.
If you have to say, I'm not against handicapped individuals, but then you've already lost.
I'm not. It's not. I am definitely not. Let's not get that assumption at all. I love everyone, unless they're hateful.
I'm looking for a super chat to play with somebody who's handicapped, but I don't have it. Well, we'll go to a hospital.
Last time that I checked, Joe was selling zones in the set. Make $250,000, no sweat. Last time that I checked.
That we need to up our handicap representation so that I can go. They can now blend Westeros with Avatar if they want. What does Battery mean by this?
Because they own Westeros as well.
Oh, Paramount. Oh, yeah. They'll be on the same streaming service now.
Arthur asked, are there any black people in Avatar? Is it just Asian based? It's Asian based. I can't recall any black folks being in Avatar.
I told you, I showed you that one clip in Korra. There was
a
lightly melanated person with a fro.
There's no black people in Avatar, Arthur. They're all Asian based.
Oh, bro.
We didn't get a seat at that table.
What is black? Is in their world, do they still have an equator where the sun hits people and it makes their skin dark? That exists in their country, in their Avatar. That exists. It can't not exist.
I'm sure it does. They just haven't traveled. They haven't traveled over there yet. We are different. When they find the black nation, we'll control some other element. I don't know, but they haven't traveled over there yet. He needs to get on Nappa and go see that shit. Put us in there.
Okay, back to this Battery. You gave me a theory. Can you imagine if like every Sunday night on the streaming service that Paramount owns, they had a Game of Thrones, a Avatar, and like another franchise, and it was just back to back to back. You release one at 4 p.m., then 5 p.m., then 6 p.m. And they did that in like in some epic season. Wouldn't that be cool to have that? It would be so eventful. To be like, it's Sunday, it's time. And it's just something that I'm a fan of all three franchises. That would be crazy. They own a lot of stuff.
They own a lot of shit.
But it wouldn't be smart. You probably should space them out so each show gets the amount of attention and coverage, and the websites cover each show fairly. You don't want to compete with yourself, which is why movie studios, like for example Disney, if they have a Marvel movie, they'll wait a little while, and then they'll do their Lilo and Stitch movie. Then they'll wait, and then they'll do the Pixar movie. Then they'll wait, and then they'll do the whatever, So they do space out releases. Phoenix says, no, chill, there was no blacks there, LOL. There were melanated peoples descending from one of the nations. Not the Fire Nation, though, but it was one of the nations. I saw him. It was Earth, I think. Earth. What's next? Kevin Feige spoke. Maul Shadow Lords. Where do you want to go? Maul Shadow Lords it is.
Syndicate leader. Our target is a syndicate leader. He is associated with several criminal organizations. And proficient with a laser sword.
The Empire tried to kill me. Their betrayal demands consequence. And that consequence requires a weapon. Together, we can destroy the Empire.
He wants to fight as allies.
The Empire may be our common enemy.
Not a kid show.
But Maul will never be our ally.
We need to find him. Whatever it takes.
This is escalating out of our hands. The Empire will want answers.
The Empire will lock this planet down.
Jedi, where is Maul? I'm right here.
not going to take out the whole empire.
I've never seen a trailer so good from Star Wars.
What, bro? That is that is so. I have gushed over this since it dropped this morning. I didn't want to watch it until the stream, but I couldn't help it. I had already watched it. I've seen this thing now. This is like my 10th time. This is so good. This is so good. The dialogue, the animation, the way the saber, it's different. It's Clone Wars animation, but it's also different. The way the saber is bleeding when on the swings, it's beautiful. This is beautiful. That shot there, the Star Destroyer over what I presume is Coruscant, beautiful. It's great. The interviews that Sam Witwer has been giving about this thing is great. The insight he's been giving about, he said that Maul, most recent one, he said Maul is very upset with Palpatine. As you hear him say at the beginning, the Empire's trying to kill me. I don't know if he's, I don't know if he's trying to get to Palpatine. I doubt that. But again, with the Empire's knowledge, because Palpatine, by this point on the timeline, Palpatine has already captured Maul. He's already been released by Mother Talzin, his mother, who died trying to release him at the hands of Palpatine, Grievous, and Dooku. So Palpatine is very aware that Maul is out there doing the things that he's doing. The reason he went to take care of Maul the first time was because he started to get a little bit too big. The first time Maul got mentioned to Palpatine, Palpatine was like, okay, let him do what he's doing. He's running around with pirates. Who cares? But then he started to build a syndicate. Then Palpatine's like, okay, I got to handle this. Captures him, gets released, and now he's doing what he's doing again. So the Empire is very much aware. Palpatine is very much aware of Maul's existence and what he's trying to do. So seeing the 11th brother here and seeing Maruk here, we know the 11th brother gets killed by Ahsoka. We've seen that in Tales of the Jedi. We know Maruk also gets killed by Ahsoka. We see that during the Ahsoka show. But when he gets killed in Ahsoka, when he dies, it's the Night Sister magic that comes off of him. So I'm wondering if Maul kills him here, and then if he's resurrected in some way. I don't know if Maul kills him in the show, though. However, if Maul takes out one of the Inquisitors and the 11th brother is unsuccessful in trying to capture Maul, because it seems like those are the only two Inquisitors they're sending, who is the next person Palpatine sends? When the Inquisitors can't handle it, it goes to Vader. I bring this up every time because I hope this happens. We already know Maul has fought Vader. It alluded to that in Rebels when he's talked to Ezra and he was talking to Ezra about he said we got to hurry. The one they call Vader will be here quickly, and I cannot face him alone. Maul is too arrogant to ever say I can't face anyone alone unless he's been brutally beaten by them. He's terrified of Palpatine. Even when Palpatine was electrocuting him, when he captured him, he was begging for mercy and still calling him master. He's terrified of Palpatine. So if not going to go up against Palpatine alone, that's why he went to Ahsoka. So if he's already fought Vader, I think it's in this show, and I think Vader kicks his ass. Oh God, they just need to stick to animation. This is great. This is better than anything that they've shown for Grogu and Mando or whatever the hell.
Who's this character that in the white mask?
That's the 11th brother.
Where have we seen him before?
Tales of the Jedi. Ahsoka killed him in Tales of the Jedi. We've seen him in Tales of the Jedi, and we've also seen him in Tales of the Empire.
Okay.
Ahsoka was sent, or he was sent to kill Ahsoka in that village.
Then what year was that? Or how many years after Order 66 does he die?
That's really not too far after, because Ahsoka's, it's not too far after. I don't think so. I would say,
because now we can time this show. We can say that Maul Shadow Lord happens.
They gave us a timeline. Let me see where it happens, because they said when Maul happens.
Look, Bad Batch happens after Order 66, and by the time we get to the third season of Bad Batch, she looks like what's her name? Omega. She looks like she got older by a couple years. I would assume Maul Shadow Lord will just be right after Bad Batch. You might have a character or two who showed up in Bad Batch show up here.
It's 1 year after Order 66.
Only 1 year? Okay, then. Well, look,
and that actually makes sense because the stormtroopers have slowly started to move over to the stormtrooper armor, but they're still using Republic gunships. So that makes sense. Not everything clones have been phased out completely yet.
I like to see this character get older by season 1 to season 2 and season 3. I love that time actually passes in this, unlike a lot of my favorite comic book content where people are stagnated in age. What's her name? Talon?
Yeah, well, I assume, yeah, Darth Talon.
They haven't confirmed the name yet, no?
Her name is confirmed through the toys. They released new Black Series toys, and her name was confirmed. It's not Talon, but again, that doesn't mean that she won't become Darth Talon.
Okay, then. Yeah. I will just learn the name instead of calling him. You know how everyone calls him Baby Yoda? I just was like, no, I don't know the name yet. And that's why it's easy for me to call him Grogu. How are you guys doing, Darius and Chill? Long time no see. We're doing good, Ricardo.
Oh, what's up,
Just
Ricardo?
enjoying. Star Wars is doing awesome. This is kicking ass, and we're in love with this franchise again. It's coming in April 6th. That is not too far off.
This is her name here. I can probably share my screen.
Now, if the trailer comes out today and the show comes on April 6th, that would mean 1, 2, 3. It's literally 3 weeks away.
Can't wait.
Now look
I've
at
been counting down. Oops, I did not mean to share that.
Whoops.
Yeah, I didn't mean to share that. My phone.
Call him da baby. I was gonna say Grogu. I forget. Well, April 6th. So it's Spider-Man No Way Home. They haven't done their trailer yet either. Is there some sort of like data or something that was discovered that you're not supposed to announce things so far off and you're supposed to be more closer to the release date? Is that what's going on in the industry? Izara?
Yeah, I think that's how you pronounce it.
Devon is a male name. Devon Izara. Devon. That's bizarre.
I'm not sure how you pronounce it. They didn't say it, but they did release her, like I said, her Black Series figure. So, and I will be getting that. But yes, I'm assuming she's going to be Darth Talon. I mean, because this was, for those that are unaware, this was George's original plan when he submitted his life's work over to Disney before they backstabbed him and made Rey. He was told that we are going to do your story. And his story was continuing with Luke. Leia was going to eventually become the Supreme Chancellor at the end of it all. Luke had started the new Jedi Order by this time, except there was Maul and Talon were going to be the main villains of it all. Maul was going to be a lot older, like we saw him at the end of Solo. But he was going to have Talon, and Talon was going to be leading the charge on things. It was going to be Luke and I believe his nephews with out of Han and Leia taking care of what was going on. It was such a better story. So I believe that they're still going to try to do George's Maul and Talon vision somewhere, and that's in this, I believe.
Yeah, Filoni must be in charge. I want to listen to the voice acting. I thought was exceptional.
The Maul will never be our ally.
Whose voice is that? That sounds so epic. Maul will never be our ally.
And I love that too. It's another Jedi that survived Order 66 that we're seeing here. So this is great. I like that too. That Maul will never be our ally, because it's just like in Rebels. Maul's not Ezra's ally. Ezra's a means to Maul's ends. So it's the same thing, I'm sure, with Talon.
And later, Maul says, "Let us get our revenge." Is he speaking with the Jedi? Is he speaking with Devon Azara? Who would mean, "Let's get we get our revenge"? Who's we?
I think he's talking probably him and her. and maybe if there's other Jedi with them.
Yeah. And that would explain her motivations and why she'd go dark, because revenge is what's inspiring her to be this epic fighter.
Oh, and not only that, I agree with you there. Not you're fighting for your life at this point. So all your Jedi morals and codes are out the window. You're fighting for survival at this point. Not only are you fighting for survival and being hunted every day, you have someone like Maul in your ear telling you to forget the Jedi ways, to forget, look what the Jedi, I'm sure things like this, look what the Jedi ways have brought the Republic. You know, the brilliant speech he gave to Ahsoka in season 7 when she was like, with your help, we can defeat cities before it's too late. And I know this heart for heart because it's just brilliant dialogue. He said, too late for what the Republic to fall, it already has, and it's too late. You just can't see it. There's no justice, no law, no order. Whispering things like that in Talon's ear while they're running for their life. Yeah, I'd turn evil too. And I agree with what D Stizzle said there. They ain't showing that. They're not doing the Legends sexy Talon Sith outfit that she's in. There's no way.
But they're doing horror. The amount of creaks and all the scary stuff that they do in horror movies was all over the trailer. Could be just trailer exclusive, but from what they're promoting, it feels like this is going to be a scary, non-kid friendly show.
Yeah, no, it looks great, bro. Like that opening shot where he's killing them in the hallway and that final one goes for his head. It's great. It's great.
How many times did you watch it? I can't hear him. Do you guys hear him?
Oh, my fault. I was muted. This is probably like my 12th time. It's such a good trailer. Such a good trailer. I really am counting down. I'm counting down for this and Invincible. So this is, I'm excited for this one.
Chat says it sounds like Vin Diesel. Yeah, maybe it was Vin Diesel. Dennis Haysbert. Next up. Why did you send this guy's tweet? To task.
The only reason I sent that, Daniel Richmond retweeted it and a couple of other folks. And it just speaks to, I mean, what all the talent that is going to Black Panther 3. Don't want to highlight up to task, but the all the talent that is going to Black Panther 3. You've got all the everything there that's going that we know of so far. And then, of course, you'll probably have Damson added to, if he's continuing on, added to that, or whatever the future is holding for the Black Panther franchise.
So it's got everything but the Black Panther. It's like,
yeah.
Can you imagine WrestleMania? It's gonna have an Oscar winner cinematographer, Oscar winning camera operator, Oscar winning ring announcer, Oscar winning everything. But yeah, but you got no wrestlers. What this is so tone deaf.
No, I agree.
You know what he's doing. This is what do you call them things, like, hey, this is a shot at you and I and recast T'Challa. This was simply that.
Oh, I know. He's not a fan. No. Nor am I a fan of his, but
did anyone say recast T'Challa? No, nobody says it. Oh well. Yeah. Remember always on Twitter to leave a comment on some of those popular posts, because folks like me always scroll down to see what people think, and you could get your voice out there. Even if you don't have thousands of followers, your tweet can be seen by thousands of people.
I see that people mentioning the Dune posters. Yeah, I saw those. I did see the Dune 3 posters. They do look good. They look good. This is where Timothée Chalamet's character goes down that dark hole. And aren't his children like even bad or something like that? I've looked into the Dune lore a little bit after Dune 2. So that was a while ago, so I'm a little fuzzy on my knowledge. So for you Dune heads out there, let me know. Is that doesn't his character turn into the villain in this one? His character eventually does become the villain.
Let's
I
take
mean, the
this time.
poster looks villainous. He looks villainous in the damn poster.
Okay. Before we move on, got to remind everyone that the final order cutoff to buy the second printing, this beautiful Dan Morrow cover, the final order cutoff is March 30th. Do not go to your shop in April. Oh, I got it off the shelf. Look at me. I bought the book. You need to not buy the book. You should have pre-ordered the book so your shop would have known to expect you, and therefore they could have had more on the shelf, and then more comics would have been printed. You have until March 30th to verbalize at your local comic shop that you want the book, and they'll even set it aside for you in your pull box. You don't even have to come on release day. It'll be on your pull box. You can come a week late. Sometimes I get my comic books 4 weeks late sometimes, where it's the issue and last month's issue because that's how long I haven't come. And it's still in my pull box, not on the shelf. Pre-order before March 30th to get this beautiful cover. Top tier artist. You said you were interested. You said like something like, yo, I might have to give this a shot. Like, what was it for you, Darius, that made you go, yeah, okay, this is the comic that might get me into the comic shop and not to buy a toy?
Black folks.
Standard, yeah. Bro turns into a tyrant. Power got to his head and turned into paranoia. Bro turns into a tyrant. Power got onto his head and turned into paranoia.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I remember reading that. Yeah. Okay.
He's definitely going to have a Hall of Fame performance if they do it right.
See, that's what I'm saying. It's going to, I was saying earlier, the conversation's going to shift back. But I'm a big Timothée Chalamet fan anyway. I don't think I've ever shied away from saying that. I think that he's brilliant. I think he's a great actor, and I will continue to say he is going to go down as one of the greatest of our generation.
Well, Lauren says that if I get to have the comic segment, you get to have your unboxing segment.
I should get to, yeah. Well, I have some things here that need to be unboxed, but I just haven't gotten to them yet. I picked up Quinlan Voss. That's Dooku from Tales of Jedi when he was Jedi. I also have the Seventh Sister here, and this is from Knights of the Republic with Kyle Katarn. Yeah, so I've got some good things here that I need to unbox.
Let's jump over to the Oscars for Ludwig Göransson on his answer. Third Oscar now. He won it for both Black Panthers for the score on both those movies, and then for Sinners.
You go way back with Ryan. Yeah. Do you both ever just look at each other and go, dude, how did this happen?
I mean, I look at him and I feel like I look at him the same way as we did 16 years ago, and that's what's so special about a relationship. There's still that magic in our eyes when we work on any project. It feels like we're doing it for the first time and we're so excited about it. And we're growing up together and we get to do this. We're definitely, blessed to be doing what we're doing.
And it's original. It's original.
Yeah, we have to explore it together because, when I read the script of this music film about Preacher Boy Sammy performing this song, closing his eyes and seeing all these musicians appear, and that was written by my best friend Ryan Coogler, who is a director and a screenwriter. But it felt like it's like he's a musician, being able to write like that.
You go way back with Ryan.
Yeah.
Do you both ever?
Did you hear him call him his best friend?
Indeed.
Unreal. I don't know what I don't know what I thought Ryan Coogler's best friend would look like, but Ludwig Göransson is his best friend. You made a lot of money, a lot of success together. Yo, maybe that would be my best friend too.
Yeah.
Oh, he won it for
Maybe
Oppenheimer. You're right. Sorry, you're right. Thank you for the correction.
Capsa, any thoughts on why no trailer for Spider-Man movie that is supposed to release this summer? Only thing I can think is kind of what they've said is, well, what scoopers and people have said is that it was Sony did this last time with No Way Home. They released the trailer 4 months before the film. And I think we're still within that 4-month mark. So it's supposedly releasing Wednesday. So we'll see.
Harry Potter.
I did see that Rogue Comics, but no, we didn't talk about it. I was perplexed because I saw it in an ad, and when I was watching something. I don't remember what I was watching, but an ad came on, and the ad was for that, and I was like, Tyler Perry on Paramount BET on Paramount. I was like, what the hell? So I didn't really know what was going on, but I did see it.
Well, rumors are pointing towards a major shift for the Harry Potter franchise. You may have heard this, but HBO is going to drop all the episodes of the Harry Potter series at once, shifting away from a weekly release. I thought Netflix wasn't getting WB. What are they thinking?
Yeah. Would I want that all dropped at once? No, personally. I prefer the week to week. Because it gives you something to talk about in between.
Yeah.
Once it's all out there, then it's all out there.
Honestly. Because how does it go when they do all 10 episodes at once? Oh, I didn't start there. Oh, don't say that. No. Oh, no. You quiet. I saw it, but Sophie didn't see it yet. So quiet. Hold on. Like, I want to have that water cooler talk at the office every Monday, and I can't do that when HBO dumps it all at one day.
Yeah, I don't agree with that. I hope they don't do that. Yeah, I hope they don't do that. Week to week, you need to give people something to talk about. Let it hype it up, even for the people that haven't seen it. You know, there are people that I'm telling you are, well, as you know, I'm sure unaware that they're even rebooting this. So, yeah, let need that talk in between.
They're about to recast Snape the next season, knowing MAGA amounts. All right, fine. I hear you guys. MAGA mount. They don't like race swaps. Allow the progressive voice to be the loudest voice against race swapping because it does not launch black characters. Well, this will be forgotten in a week or two. Precisely the point. Normally is what's making people talk about it even more. And a word of mouth is worth more than all the dollars that could possibly spent on promotion. It must be shite, I guess. They should do the first 3 episodes, then do weekly. Yeah.
And like Stammen said, the weekly model is king. You either like it or you're wrong.
Can we normalize that? Doing long first episodes, giving lots of content, and then every other week gets to be short, sort of like how Bad Batch began with this long 90-minute episode. So let us know what the show is about. Let us know who everyone's motivation. Let us know a lot. And then we can get to weekly. I think Ianu also dropped 3 in the beginning, and then we got to the weekly release. That's just the right way to go.
Those were the best. That was the best episode of Bad Batch.
The first one?
Yeah, that first one was something great. Those ones after.
Unlike Ianu, as it got better the further we went. I was watching.
I guess
Marcus
I could say
and
that
Josh.
about Bad Batch.
What about Bad Batch?
I guess I could say that about Bad Batch. I didn't hate season 3 or the final season. If that was season 3, I don't remember.
Pilot episode used to be a thing back in the day. I miss that era. Wonder how Daredevil season 2 will affect New York in the next couple of Marvel movies. Why would you wonder? You think they have continuity? They work extra hard to avoid connecting Spider-Man to Hawkeye to all that. They avoid that. I hope we can see Omega in Maul Shadow Lord. That'd be cool. As long as she's doing something cool, yeah. So I'd like to see her. I'd like connectivity.
No, this would only be a year after. So she canonically, she's on Camino. This is a year after Order 66. So I don't believe Admiral Rampart has bombed Camino yet. None of that has happened. she's on or Bomb Camino, Bomb Topeka City. She's on Camino.
We could get a time jump in the third episode, like if you watch Attack on Titan, maybe if you remember how he got older after episode 3 or 4. Remember that?
Who?
Oh, they could make a time jump where your girl gets older and Omega gets to appear after.
Maybe.
So Harry Potter news, yeah. That just doesn't affect the quality of the show. It just affects the amount of conversation around it.
Yeah, no, they're connecting things. Their latest rumors are now that Marvel and or Sony is more willing to let Marvel use Spider-Man in a lot more projects, and the relationship over there has gotten better, and blah 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 blah. So, and the other rumors are we're even supposed to be seeing some of the Defenders in the new Spider-Man film. So we know that they are in Daredevil. Haven't seen Luke Cage yet, but we saw Jessica Jones, and we know that Finn, what's his name, is supposedly from High Garden. He's supposed to be coming back as Iron Fist. Sleeping with the one was sleeping with King Ramley. What's his name? Forget his real name.
Don't know.
Iron Fist, Finn something, Finn Jones.
Okay. Why is Finn Jones back? Oh, he just is.
Yeah. He is back.
Did you know that it's been 8 years since the release of the Avengers Infinity War trailer? It's anniversary week.
Yeah, play that trailer. I haven't seen this trailer in some time.
The entire time I knew him, he only ever had one goal: to wipe out half the universe. If he gets all the Infinity Stones, he can do it with the snap of his fingers.
Now, this is a trailer.
Just like that.
Tell me his name again.
Thanos.
We really thought they were in the same room.
We got one advantage. He's coming to us. We have what Thanos wants, so that's what we use.
Let's talk about this plan of yours. I think it's good, except it sucks. So let me do the plan, and that way it might be really good.
Wow.
The end is near.
When I'm done, half of humanity will still exist. Perfectly balanced. As all things should be. I hope they remember you.
I'm Peter, by the way.
Doctor Strange.
Oh, you're using your made-up names. Then I am Spider-Man.
You know that take of him saying that is not the same take they went with in Infinity War, where he says, "Oh, we're using our made up names." Great trailer, man. Oh my god, such a good trailer. Such a good trailer.
Seeing
It's
Steve
my
Rogers holding
favorite.
up Thanos' hand. Oh, he's struggling. That's the best hero we got, and he's losing to Thanos.
This was my favorite Marvel. It's still my favorite Marvel film. Great. Really, 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 really great.
Now I'm 24 and grown. Where did the time go? Hey, the years start coming and they don't stop coming.
Yeah, this was great, man. I miss those times. Miss those days with Marvel. Miss those days. But they better bring that type of sauce and energy with the Doomsday trailer.
It's the Russos. There's only one way they know how, and it's like that.
Good.
Cam agrees it was the best one for sure.
Oh yeah, Infinity War is, man.
This isn't the first trailer. No, this was the second trailer. The first one came out like December, months before.
Yeah. Good times. Good times.
Yeah, they gave you information. They let you see the fighting. How cool was it just to see Peter Quill, Tony Stark, and Peter Parker, and was Batista's character, and they were like together. You're what? And he's joking about who's got the best plan. Oh, they're gonna fight together. What? Oh.
Yeah, it's the editing too at the beginning. Great. Tell me his name again. Thanos. Great. Yeah, such a good movie. The opening monologue Thanos gives to the Asgardians. Fantastic.
This trailer came after Black Panther was a success, so they knew to include a lot of him in this trailer more than they probably would have. He kind of overrepresented, actually, considering his role in Infinity War. He doesn't even show up until the second hour of the movie, really. But he shows up in a solid way when they're trying to make a plan. What are we gonna do with Vision? And then Steve says, "I know a place," and you can hear the drums. Also, you're like, "Yeah, he knows a place. He knows a place." Like the suspense. I was like, "Please say Wakanda." And you can hear the drums. He's gonna say it. Yeah.
Yeah, great. Oh, you don't like Age of Ultron? I think Age of Ultron is unfairly criticized sometimes. I like Age of Ultron a lot. I think it's great as well.
Doesn't it get better retroactively because we see Claw in that movie, then we get to see Claw in Black Panther? Like it's more richer when you realize that it's an Infinity Stone that Vision's got. When you realize like what happens in that movie really sets up a lot more. I think we can look back and say, "Wow, it was doing groundwork. This was good."
Yeah. I like Ultron, Age of Ultron.
Introduced Wanda and Quicksilver. Introduced Falcon on the team. We got to see War Machine show up on the team. They expanded the team very well, and Hawkeye got more. Maybe that's not a plus because it's Hawkeye, but Hawkeye got more in this movie. I really thought he was gonna die.
Got the good scene between Hulk and Iron Man. The great highway chase scene with Ultron and the Avengers. That was great.
Great voice for Ultron.
Man, you can't beat James Spader as Ultron. When he comes out with "There Ain't No Strings on Me," that shit is great. Great.
Ultron got better with rewatches for me. Ultron is overhated, but was retroactively improved by later titles. It was a beautiful mess at the time, more set up than a movie in its own rights. The best line from Marvel,
Haven't
was
I
that
killed you
worse?
already?
Haven't I killed you already?
I'm trying to remember who said that. Haven't I killed you already?
Oh, that was Kang talking to Ant-Man, right?
Yeah, that's right. Which one are you? You're not the one with the hammer. Yeah.
If you guys want to see Jonathan Majors, check out his movie with Ben Shapiro. FOC is March 30th. I'm kidding.
I've got something. Hold on.
I'm kidding, but I also I look at it a lot differently than I did. I always looked at it this way with Jonathan Majors. Fuck. Why that movie? But also, okay, well, who's paying him? Why is he being blackballed? Where is Spike Lee, who got him for The Five Bloods? Where's Coogler? Where's all the other options that he's supposed to have? and he's not getting them. So what am I supposed to say? No, you sit there, Jonathan. You don't get paid. You sit there and you say no to the guys who are going to give you thousands of dollars to act. Say no and keep waiting. Oh, no one's offering you the role. No, stay there and don't get paid. I don't care about your bills. You know what I mean? Like, it's very difficult to say that to somebody. And then I have to weigh my morals and I say, all these other studios are at the top. They're run by somebody evil. And so why am I okay with him working at Paramount, but I'm not okay with him working at Shapiro? So I have to ask myself those questions and go back and forth. I still lean towards, I wish he hadn't have done it. I just don't have energy to hate on him or judge him too strongly. But I would really love to hear him coming out of his mouth to have an explanation, and I'd have a better assessment of how I view that situation. So essentially, I don't know how to judge him, is what I'm trying to say. But like, don't come to Chillmonger for judgment on actors either.
Since we were talking about Kang,
Uh-huh.
I did get this one too. I think I showed this in the box when I had it in the box, but I've recently taken him out of the box. This is my Kang in his time chair. This thing is a SDCC, if you know, SDCC Marvel Legends exclusive. So if you didn't get it, you have to get it buy it off somebody else. Not me. I got this at I don't know if you guys have vintage stocks around. It's like a lesser value Hastings. Vintage stock, $75. When I tell you steal, I mean a steal. Literally went to the counter and said, I need that like pronto. No one's like, so anyway, I have 2 other Kangs, so I can build my council. I need 2 more. But this is my,
so I can build my council.
This is my Kang Prime though, but this thing is badass. It is badass. It's great. Yeah. Gotta build my council.
Gotta love it. Where do we jump to next? Did we cover this one here? You got a picture of Michael B. Jordan, and it says Oscar winner MBJ will be seen next in The Thomas Crown Affair, Lily Gladstone and Adria Arjona. Joseph Kosinski's Miami Vice with Austin Butler. That hasn't been confirmed, I don't think. Has it? No. I Am Legend 2 with Will Smith. Wow.
Confirmed.
Chad Stahelski's Rainbow Six adaptation. And an animated comedy, Swapped. Love it. Actors getting work.
Rainbow
I love
Six
Michael B.
Siege?
Jordan since
Is that Rainbow Six Siege, the game?
the game has got to be the game. There's no other Rainbow Six.
I was gonna say.
So yeah, that's going to be adapted. Sick. Video game adaptations are on the rise and they're succeeding.
Yeah, he's very got a very busy schedule.
Booked and busy. I heard Charlemagne said he's one of the last real movie stars. You don't see him in the public, and he barely does the interviews. He still has mystique to himself, and he's not posting all the time. Yes, kind of. So, there you go. Sexiest man alive and Oscar winner. Who else can claim that? Matthew McConaughey. Did Clooney win an Oscar? Yeah, he's in a room of 2. Sexiest man alive and Oscar winner? He's got that.
Good for Michael B. I was very happy for him.
Yeah. Next up, we go to Kevin Feige, who sat down with the Sean Levy, and he gave some interview quotes that were sort of interesting. First on Blade. Kevin Feige and why Mahershala Ali's Blade was paused. We didn't want to put a leather outfit. Is this old? We didn't want to put a leather outfit on Ali and have him start killing vampires. You can start and have a good script and make it a great script through production, but we didn't feel confident we could do that on Blade. We didn't want to do that to Mahershala and didn't want to do that to us. Do you buy it? No.
It doesn't even make sense. So no.
We talk about James Gunn all the time. Sometimes we contrast him with Feige, and we just simply say Feige doesn't talk that much. Here's Feige talking, and this is just utter BS. Is it a lie? Maybe he's telling the truth. Maybe he really wanted to protect Blade. It's probably a lie. There's probably some other reasons why, and it has to do with we can't green light another Darky because Falcon didn't work.
He also, I mean, he also said why Falcon didn't work. I mean, he flat out told you it's because Steve Rogers wasn't in it. Where? I'm trying to find the one. Let me see.
The one where Kevin Feige speaks about Black Panther and
no, it's the one. Not that. It's this one where he said that why he doesn't speak.
Kevin Feige on avoiding internet discourse and the last time he saw Chadwick Boseman. This one. I'll scroll down to the article. It was a unique peek behind the curtain. Let me just get to the quotes because I want to save time. Here. The centerpiece of the evening, however, was the revealing conversation between Feige, Coogler, and Sean Levy. Marvel has always had a back and forth with fans going back to the days of the letters pages back at its comics. I want to just say, we still have letter pages in comics, okay? But it can be wielded with such force now that you have to be aware, Feige noted, referring to the power, sometimes dark, of fandom on the internet. The volume of what is being said online, if you focus too closely on it, will crush you, he said, adding, there are hours and hours of theories on YouTube, hours and hours on TikTok, hours on subreddits. You can read everything and everything on everything and get a different point of view on it. You can go crazy. So we don't do that. That's cap.
Yeah, definitely.
I'm looking for my Kevin Feige cap. Hold up.
Yeah, Kevin Feige's full of it. What? I didn't even see what he said about Chadwick Boseman.
That's cap. This is bullshit. I saw Josh from Den of Nerds say even saying specifically the term subreddit is a tell. Because if you're just like, I don't even know what that is, you just refer to it as Reddit. You just say the internet. Maybe you talk about YouTube and Twitter, YouTube and TikTok. For you to say subreddit, then you have to understand how the Reddit website works. How do you understand it? By visiting it. Kevin Feige, you do that. You are very aware. You shut down one of the subreddits because Ant-Man had a script leak on it. You know.
It's true. I forgot about that. That's true. Not only that, he was the one. Let's not forget Scooper, who no one talks about ever, but Scooper, Can We Get Some Toast, that had the whole lawsuit for what was being put out. I think he does sports bets now. I'm pretty sure that's what his Twitter is now. Yeah. So they're full of it. What do you say about Chadwick Boseman?
I'll just read the whole thing. I think it's all important. Marvel finds the best way to get early audience feedback is at the movie theater at test screenings. It's just like film students showing their films to peers for feedback. Only, as Feige noted, it happens when you've already spent almost $200 million on a movie and you screen it for people and they're like, what was that? And then the panic sets in, chimed in Levy. You panic, feel like shit, and then you go back to work. Feige admitted to not understanding early in his career that that disappointing tests are sometimes filmmakers at every level deal with. Pause. I have a reaction to this. I'd like to know which movies are getting the what was that. Are you telling me Avengers Infinity War and Endgame got a what was that? Also, it's very hard for me to believe that people saw Endgame and said, what was that? Actually, they probably should have never even gotten screen tests because of how many secrets there were in that movie. So, which movies got the what was that reaction? Was it Thunderbolts? Was it Falcon, Brave New World? Was it Quantumania?
He's not going to say that, but it has to start with, to me, film-wise, it would have to start at Quantumania. maybe even Eternals. As much as they would like to say Eternals was great. Telling you, it took me 16 watches to come around to saying, it's not bad.
Mm-hmm.
And that third act's still forever shit. So it has to either start there or Quantumania. I mean, I can't think of the last time I came out of a Marvel movie and said, man, that was phenomenal.
Spider-Man No Way Home.
Yeah, that's it.
You liked Fantastic Four too.
I liked it, but I didn't call it phenomenal.
Okay.
And then on my rewatches, I don't like it. It is not fun at all. The only fun parts of Fantastic Four are the space scene when they're escaping from Galactus. That's
Great
it.
scene. I might just pull that up right after our stream just to like enjoy that part.
That's it. And I liked because I gushed over it a lot during the promo, and I still like it. I like when Silver Surfer comes to New York City and gives a little threatening warning. I like that.
I must have missed that part of the movie. Silver Surfer was in it?
The dialogue, and I like that a lot. But they haven't given a phenomenal film in a long time. A long time.
Fingers crossed for Spider-Man. I thought we were the only morons that couldn't do it perfectly the first time and had to really work at it to make it great. And turned out that Pixar would do the same thing. And turns out that most great filmmakers. Feige stopped and turned to Coogler asking, was Sinners perfect for the first cut? No, he said, chuckling, adding, of the most nominated film in Oscar history. I don't know if it's perfect even now, bro. Returning to the topic of the internet's white noise, Levi said that if a filmmaker can't mute it, they will get lost in that fog, which will affect the movie's quality. Okay, as much as I'm disagreeing, as much as I'm hating, it is smart to turn off the white noise and just do the best job that you can do and not like have other people's vision. Oh, people think that it would be really good if we had a spider in this movie, or it would be really cool if we had a blank. And then you start shifting and you take attention away from the characters that were needed, and you got to do your movie. So that does make sense to turn off the white noise.
Well, and ultimately, I believe this is why the Russos were brought back. Because the Russos, not every film during the Infinity Saga was done by the Russos, but they don't pay attention from what I've seen to them. They don't pay attention to the outside noise. When they are locked in on their project, they're locked in on their project that they've known what they've wanted to do with this for quite some time anyway. Now, granted, probably some things have changed with the absence of Kang or adding of Kang or whatever the mess ups over there at Marvel have been, but they've known this for a while. So I think when you have directors like that, people that aren't obsessed with scrolling online and knowing what people are thinking and things like that, I'm not saying that that's not important, but at the same time, who gives a shit? If you just make a good film and you put it out there, you're going to know what people think about it after they come out of the theater. You don't need. I don't think going into Doomsday or whatever, you need to vet. You need to vet the audience for okay, what is the audience feeling? You know good damn well what the audience is feeling. You've known that for the past however long it's been since Infinity War or Endgame.
Yeah. What the audience is feeling is take that comic book that I liked and make it a movie. And if you think that's the white noise, no, you're the white noise.
Yeah, and they're changing. You see that thing about Sentry, and which I don't really care, but it's not really changing. They're taking things from the comic book, so they are leaning heavy into Hickman's comic book for Secret Wars, but in it, Hyperion stops that incursion with his hands, and I guess it's Sentry that's going to do it in the movie.
Fine. All right. But that's probably why Aldous Hodge, who said, I used to read the graphic novels in that Mellow interview, that's probably why he wasn't called. They said, oh, this is so much white noise. We can't do that. He's going to be, we can't have another Chadwick. No. We're working on a big, and when you're working on a big franchise, stuff like Marvel and Star Wars, you've got to know when to put it down, go quiet, and go back to what you had in your head and in your voice when you began. The evening's conversation veered into a look at Marvel's process of hiring filmmakers, wherein Feige said that vibing with someone and asking if he could spend the next 2 years with him in an intense situation was almost more important than a person's previous work. Uh-oh. Why? Why would that be more important than your previous work? Your previous work should speak for itself, and then you hire him. Coogler hilariously recounted seeing the first Iron Man on opening weekend at the ArcLight in Hollywood, during which he left to go use the restroom, only to find himself temporarily locked out of the theater by security because the filmmakers were there to greet the audience ahead of the screening. I see Feige. I see Downey. I see John. I said, I want to be involved with that. And they had Stark Industry jackets and shit, he recalled. Once back inside the theater, he remembered Downey. Well, thank God he didn't get arrested this time. Downey crackling the audience up. And then once the movie started, it was magic. And it was my first semester at film school. I had just moved to LA. And I thought to myself, I can't believe I'm here. And Levi told of how Hugh Jackman's participation in what became Deadpool Wolverine unlocked the story for that movie. Nostalgia became the very visceral theme for the feature. It was heaven to sit there and go, who do people miss and they don't even know how much they miss them? What would be the most delicious wish fulfillment for us as fans? Feige and especially Coogler have not spoken publicly much about the immediate aftermath of the death of Black Panther star Boseman, who passed away 2020 after succumbing to cancer. But on Thursday, in front of the crowd of eager listeners, they opened up about the dark times. Feige revealed that during his last in-person meeting with Marvel execs, Boseman expressed how much fun he was having voicing the character of T'Challa in the Black Panther, the What If. He wanted to bring that fun vibe to the next Black Panther feature, which ultimately he never got the chance to make. Doesn't that mean that he wanted there to be T'Challa in the movie? Huh, Kevin? Huh? That anecdote served to underscore Feige's broader point about how he took Boseman and, in fact, took other colleagues and friends for granted. He explained that on most movies, people work very closely for a period, and then they may not see each other for years after the movie wraps. But with Marvel, there was always another movie to make, another Panther or Avengers or Iron Man around the corner. We will be back in there. That was always my expectation. So the need to set a dinner or lunch to say hi, I just never do, because we're busy and because we're going to have a next time. And that hit me like a ton of bricks when I realized that there wasn't going to be a next time. Coogler, meanwhile, you want to comment on that one, on his comments on Chadwick Boseman?
No.
Coogler, meanwhile, revealed that in the time after Boseman's death, Feige and CEO Bob Iger flew to the actor's home in Oakland, all while COVID pandemic was still at a high. That's new. I didn't know that. They came to our apartment in lockdown, and we walked around the Richmond Arena and just talked. And that was the first real check-in, he said. And it wasn't, hey, what are we going to do about this franchise? It was about, hey, are you okay? How are you taking it? It was real moments where you see the humanity beyond the corporate things and the financial responsibilities. Brother, Bob Iger is an evil Zionist. Zionism, white supremacy are linked hand in hand. If in that meeting with you, Ryan Coogler, he was planting seeds or giving you doubt or encouraging the absence of T'Challa, then this just confirms my theories and everything. I really don't want to hear that. I don't think of him as, what a humane thing to do for Bob Iger. I think he went, ugh, this black movie franchise got too big. Let's tell Ryan Coogler about how, hey, you don't even have to do the second movie. Don't worry about it. I think that's what Bob Iger's evil secret mission was, because I am that theorist. Red flag. Coogler called that period of profound experience and said he really tried to learn the lesson of not taking people for granted, to not fall into the I'll see you at the next thing mindset. There was only one Chad, bro, and there was only one character that was really meant for him. Red flag. Darius, Ryan Coogler just said there was only one Chad, bro, and there was only one character that was really meant for him. He's doing what Chad asked you not to do. You're really limiting him. You're really limiting the character. You are attaching actor with character. You're doing some regressive stuff, and it's fine if you said that 3 years ago or 7 years ago when Chad died, 6 years ago. You're saying that now? Why are you trying to justify Toussaint on me and how you're not gonna continue with T'Challa? This isn't T'Challa.
It's as much as I always hate to rain on the T'Challa recasting parade because I want it just as much as everybody else. I think this just further speaks to when I say it, I know everybody hates it, but what I've been saying, they're not thinking about recasting T'Challa. They're just not. And again, I'm not faulting the man for having a relationship with the quote unquote friend. I am faulting the man for not being able to take his personal feelings with that quote unquote relationship with that friend out of his out of a business decision, out of the Marvel, because the Marvel moves on without Chadwick Boseman. I love Chad. Again, as I've said many times talking about Chad, I believe a lot of people, especially a lot of these anti-recast folks or whoever, believe that or didn't even know who Chadwick Boseman was. A lot of these Marvel folks, not even just anti-recast, all these Marvel folks didn't even know who Chadwick Boseman was until he took the role of T'Challa. So this whole like, oh, it's so special, he's so special, and I'm not saying he's not, but he's not above a recast of a character he played that was created long before he was even thought of. So I think this just speaks to that. I mean, as much as again, I didn't even want to, when it happened, I didn't bring up the Hollywood Walk of Fame speech, but I think that also spoke to it. I think that the speech he gave at the Hollywood Star spoke to, hey, I'm sorry as much as you. I'm not sorry. I'm not even sorry. I don't know. I'm not in Ryan's head. He doesn't have social media or any of that stuff. He's not thinking about a recast. Marvel is not thinking about a recast. Whatever was presented to Damson, it is not that of T'Challa. Whatever was presented to Damson, as I've started to kind of, maybe it was today I had the revelation of just listening to Aldous. I had the revelation while listening to Aldous. Whatever was presented to Damson, I don't even believe he fought for what maybe some of us were even saying, oh no, he was probably fighting for, oh no, I want this to be the T'Challa and I want this to be a longer than just a cameo. I don't even think it was any of that. It was probably more of a paycheck thing. Is this going to be more of a bigger than a cameo? I don't really care if I'm T'Challa, T'Challa, T'Sun, whoever. I don't even think he cares on that level that we care. Damson, I don't think he cares on that level that we care. And the reason, again, that I say is just because I've not heard him give, and you could say your argument to me could say, well, Darius, he doesn't publicly have the role. Okay, cool. But that doesn't mean that you can't give an answer like Aldous has given, even though you don't publicly have the role. So I don't even think he cares on the level that I've been saying this stuff. I've not said it about Damson. I'm saying it now. I don't even think Damson cares on the level that we care when it comes to recasting T'Challa. So I said all that to bring it back to the point I've been making since 2 houses ago. They are not thinking. They're not sniffing. It's not written on a board somewhere. They are not talking about recasting T'Challa. I love all of you in this chat, and I love you guys. But E-Man, and I love E-Man too. I don't care what E-Man had, what conversation he had with the Russos. I really don't. I don't care what comic you've shown them that they've read front to back 1,000,000 times, because that's the comic that this movie's based on. I don't care. They've seen that panel. They know who's in the book. They're aware. They're not thinking about a recast. And the reason I've said this before in conjunction with Black Panther 3 is I don't care what anybody says. This is until I'm proven wrong from Marvel or Coogler. This is my opinion on it. Ryan Coogler has just won an Oscar. They were already talking about him, rumor-wise, directing Secret Wars before they before they got the Russos down. He was one of the names in the hats apparently over at Marvel Studios. They already told him that he could do. It's your choice what you do with this character when Chadwick Boseman died. They were going to give him. He's already got the keys to this IP. We've already heard from 2 different people that work at Marvel Studios that in order to use T'Challa, we had to call Ryan. He told us no.
Oh yeah, Bo DeMeo in X-Men 97, and your boy from Marvel Zombies, Andrew, I forget his name.
Exactly. He just won an Oscar. I'll reiterate that. Why would they get to play with my toys before I get to play with my toys? The argument I've used. Well, Darius, the Russos got to use Chadwick or use T'Challa during Civil Wars. T'Challa is not, let me reiterate this, not Ryan Coogler's character. That character was created in the 60s. Of course, they got to use him before Ryan. Toussaint is Ryan's character. It just doesn't make sense why you get to use my character before I get to use my character because I have plans for my character. It never made narrative sense for him to be aged up anyway. So I stand by what I've been saying. He probably is still not T'Challa because I don't believe that, because they don't want to touch that. From another universe, from a different timeline, pulled out of someone's ass, it's not T'Challa, son of T'Chaka. That right there is going to be the same way we're pulling the Fantastic Four from the 60s. Doesn't mean that every timeline is the same year. Every universe is in the same year or whatever.
Yeah.
So if you can pull the Fantastic Four from some 60s universe where they only exist, what's stopping you from pulling a Black Panther from a universe that T'Challa's maybe not born yet? They've already shown you what that would look like with the animated series nobody watched, Eyes of Wakanda. Remember, they said, hey, this is before T'Challa. He's not even born yet. So I want to just let y'all know, prepare yourselves. I think you got 298 days, 290-something days until Doomsday. Prep yourselves. I don't know that he's in Doomsday. It might not even be till Secret Wars. But if it's even if it's for that, prep yourselves. I'm telling you, I've been telling y'all, he's not in this. You will get a Black Panther, but it will not be T'Challa. And I think that what Ryan just said in this, because I read this earlier. I'm sorry, I didn't read this part earlier. I saw that Cornelius had retweeted this and said something. He even said, I think this speaks to we may not be getting a recast. And I said, after I read it, I said, oh, yeah, of course it does. Of course it does. Because he's been telling you this since Wakanda Forever. He told you then, but I know everybody, like me too, I had the same hope. But it was when I had that revelation, I don't remember what it was that clicked. I don't remember what it was that clicked for me. But when it finally clicked, you see it with new eyes. You don't see it with the wanting of the recast. I still want the recast. I'm just not naive to it. I know it's not happening. Not anytime soon, at least. Not while Ryan Coogler, the Oscar-holding director, is over the IP. I don't even believe the stuff anymore of, well, I believe it. Yes, of course. Kevin Feige is the president. He can go in there and tell Ryan Coogler or the Russos that, hey, this is what we're doing and how we're going to do it. And this boom, boom, boom. He could. They could give pushback as directors or whatever. But the whole argument of, Kevin Feige might just be fed up with it. Kevin Feige might just be reading stuff about recast and like, let's just give him what we want. He, money said this is T'Challa sells this is. Let me tell y'all something. This is the last thing I'm gonna say on it. No one looks at, they're not the general audience, Ryan Coogler, that they're not all of that. They don't look at this franchise the way that Aldous just speak about this franchise. They don't look at this franchise the way that we in these spaces speak about this franchise. It's not the same for them. So the way that we're looking at recasting T'Challa and wanting to see T'Challa and things like that, the general audience and things like that are not looking at it that way. It's just a Black Panther for them. And as long as Ryan Coogler holds the keys to this franchise and he speaks about his friend the way that he is speaking about his friend in these interviews and still speaking about him, and I don't expect those feelings to ever go away, then you're not going to see T'Challa on screen. Not with Marvel Studios. It's not going to happen.
Funny you should mention Ryan Coogler speaking on his friend. This was months ago, and he's speaking on his friend, and you get to see the level of friend Chadwick Boseman was with him. Listen carefully.
Me and Chad didn't get to hang out much, but when we did, it was awesome. But when I think about it, I always go back to our time spent on set.
I mean, is that not proof that you were work friends? That we didn't get to hang out much? Most of the time we spent was on set. The attachment is unreasonably destructive and regressive to the greatest black character in fiction, like the most impactful, highest grossing, the most positively outcome producing character that there is that you have. And you're like doing this for a guy who clearly you did not know close enough. And I say that clearly he doesn't know him close enough because I cut to people who he did know close enough, like his boy, like his brother, Derek Boseman, who's been given quotes. Like there's a play right now, Azure, what was it called? Blue, something that there's a play happening in London. And when they asked him, how do you feel about this, Derek Boseman? Like, and he said, like, yeah, this keeps my brother's memory alive. Continuing what Chadwick Boseman was working on keeps it alive. If I look on my computer for Derek Boseman, there's a short right here.
Not him, and he wasn't Chad. Chad was Chad. T'Challa is just a character. When Christopher Reeve had the accident, they didn't stop having Superman. They just got somebody else to play the role of Superman. I think that the role was far too important, and it was bigger than just one person because of the effect that it had on black children.
That quote there, I think I contrast that against what Ryan Coogler said about his work friend, about a guy he didn't spend too much time with except for on set. And salute to Ryan Coogler's talent. No one's insulting that. I really am just pinning this on Ryan Coogler had an impulse emotion, and the emotion is still standing. It's still staying there. Maybe he's very an empath. Maybe he's very emotionally driven. I'm not trying to insult you in any way, but that you can't see what Aldous Hodge sees that we covered earlier on this stream, Ryan. I don't apologize for calling you out on it and saying this. I don't feel like I'm speaking out of school or I'm off code or something like that for having criticism towards you, Ryan Coogler, if you're watching. But you guys don't watch subreddits and YouTube theories. But you were wrong, like completely wrong about this character specifically, and you need to get him out of there.
That's what I was going to say too earlier when I was saying about the whole last thing I was going to say. I think we are now in the era of Ryan Coogler's career where I want to go see a Ryan Coogler film. And Black Panther 3 is a Ryan Coogler film. It is a Marvel Studios, obviously, film, but it's a Ryan Coogler film. And I think people are wanting to, that's more attractive because, again, general audience doesn't really care. T'Challa, Bashanga, whoever you put in there, if it's the guy at this point, that's what they're asking for, general audience-wise. So they don't really care. So at this point, I'm just going to see a Ryan Coogler film. So I'm telling you, it's the decision that was made in 2022 to not recast T'Challa has unfortunately put this franchise not in an irreversible place because it's very simple, but an irreversible place for them. They are not going to reverse on their decision. Man, they stood 10 toes down on this. 10 toes down. 10 toes down. I remember after Wakanda Forever, people telling me after I made the switch in my brain, I had that. I remember people telling me, "Oh, well, that doesn't mean that they can't, they can't change this." I'm telling y'all, man, it just. I don't know. I keep waiting. I just keep waiting and waiting and waiting and waiting for them to give something that shows what they're truly doing.
It makes me think of the Nate Moore quote. And Nate Moore, did he lie to us? So I'll put this down, go back to the article. But if Bob Iger linked up with you guys in Oakland, all while the COVID-19 was still at a high, I want to know exactly when. How long after Boseman's death was it? Because it just says Coogler, meanwhile, revealed that in the time after Boseman's death. How many days after was it? Because Nate Moore told us also about the time after Ryan Coogler's death. This was him on the Ringerverse talking to Van Lathan.
What are the chances we see the character of T'Challa in the MCU moving forward? And what is it like having to balance loyalty to a fan base,
I'll play the whole
to
thing.
a performer, as regal and elegant as Chadwick Boseman,
Yeah.
along with the future of that franchise, that character, and of Wakanda?
Yeah. It's a great question. I will say the chances that you see T'Challa in our, I'm not hedging my bets. I'm being quite honest. T'Challa you will not see T'Challa in the MCU 616 universe. We couldn't do it. I mean, I will say when Chad passed, it was a real conversation we had with Coogler about what do we do, and it was a fast conversation. It wasn't weeks; it was minutes of we have to figure out how to move this franchise on without that character.
Okay, if it was a quick conversation and it didn't take weeks, it took minutes, is this the same conversation that Bob Iger flew over? Because the Hollywood Reporter doesn't mention Nate Moore came. He just mentioned it was Kevin Feige and Bob Iger. Was this the same conversation? You guys, like, what's happening? Did Nate Moore have an additional conversation? I would like to know which conversation Nate Moore's talking about, which was a quick decision that he's not going to be, or does Nate Moore not even know that Bob Iger flew over during COVID to Oakland?
Or maybe this also falls into that category where we started the stream, but there's so much we don't know, but we're just being told. You know, he could have just told Van, and then we ran with this at the time. But he could have just been telling Van, it wasn't weeks, it wasn't minutes. We decided very quickly we're not going to recast him. Meanwhile, he wasn't even invited to the cookout. So we don't, from a Hollywood Reporter's perspective, unless there were two different meetings.
Yeah. Yeah, I wonder which meeting was first. Well, because I want to look at Bob Iger as someone who kind of, in an early moment, fresh off of the shock, did Bob Iger plant the seeds to kill T'Challa permanently? And Nate Moore doesn't know that. And that's why he just thinks, yeah, we had a quick meeting. It only took minutes. Maybe the meeting with Bob Iger already that they've already had and Nate Moore doesn't know about is the decision to kill T'Challa. Maybe. I'm just open to that. I'm also, I don't know. I'm just asking questions. I have no proof. This is just all weird. All I can do is talk about what we've seen. And he spoke to the Ringerverse 3 years ago now. This tweet came in 2021, actually, in November of 2021, a year before Wakanda Forever came out. So I'll keep playing this interview just for those of you who haven't seen it because it's been a long time.
Because I think we all feel so much of T'Challa in the MCU on the screen, not in comics, right? Is tied to Chadwick's performance. Is what he brought to that role, both on and off screen, I would argue. So as hard as it is narratively to figure out what to do, because it's a big hole, at no point did we consider recasting him. So the challenge for Black Panther Wakanda Forever is telling a story without T'Challa. And
the unnecessary challenge.
That shit just,
I think it's a challenge.
He should go back and watch this interview and ask himself, does that shit even make sense? The challenge now is telling the story of Wakanda without T'Challa.
Without the main character.
Does that even make good dumb sense? That's crazy. Like, he should really go back and re-listen to this. The challenge now when I get in my car is starting it without my engine.
Yeah.
We're up for, and obviously we're in the middle of it, and we're figuring it out. And it's so far, I think what we're getting is great. But the challenge of the movie, I think, is to entertain people. But there will be a level of, I think, catharsis in people coming back to this universe without that guy, because that guy and that universe, to me, are one and the same. So as filmmakers and storytellers, you have to figure out how people are going to feel going into your movie and what you want that movie to say about that guy who's not going to be in your movie.
Wow.
They said,
They weren't happy with that.
No, that's funny. COVID was a hell of a time, was it not, Road Comics? My gosh. Yeah,
here's something else about how we don't actually watch the streamers. I covered the Wakanda Forever podcast, and specifically the episode where Simone Bozeman was asked by Ta-Nehisi Coates on the podcast about recasts, or she brought it up too, and she just said, I know it's not something that he would have wanted to end, she said in the podcast. I covered that on my YouTube channel. It was missing. It disappeared from the Spotify It was everywhere else. And I'm like, okay, because I covered it and because I covered Spotify, somebody at the office took it away. I called them out on it and it came back. It returned. If I go to Wakanda Forever podcast, for the regular viewers of my channel, you guys know and you remember that I covered this, that it was missing. If I go to the Wakanda Forever podcast, all 6 episodes, including the Simone Bozeman episode, chapter 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1, they're not all missing anymore. I remember, I think they removed, they kept chapter 1. I think they removed chapter 2 with Kevin Feige and Nate Moore, and they removed chapter 6 with Simone. I remember that, and I thought it was very weird, and it only happened on Spotify, but not iTunes. You guys are listening, okay? Because it's back now after I called you guys out. Appreciate you guys for watching. Like, comment, and subscribe. Hype the videos. It makes a difference. Allows me to get paid. Back to the article, which we haven't finished reading. Coogler, meanwhile, I think we were here. Years before Feige worked with Coogler, Levi, or Bozeman, he grew up obsessed with the idea of attending USC after learning that his favorite filmmakers, George Lucas, Ron Howard, and Robert Zemeckis. Actually, who cares? This has nothing to do with anything anymore that we like. Oh, we're good.
Yeah, they. Yeah, we'll see. We'll see what happens.
I'm gonna clip that little 15-minute chunk where we were just talking about Black Panther, recast T'Challa, and everything, and I want to add a point to it towards the ending of this. What should we say to put a bow on this video, Darius? What's important that we haven't touched on?
I mean, for me, I don't know that there's anything important that we haven't touched on, because I feel when I personally talk about recast, I feel like a broken record. I feel like the things I'm saying, I've said over and over and over again, because there's no new ground to break. Until Marvel tells us something, there is no new ground to be broken or moving forward, the pin moving forward, needle, whichever reference, with this topic. We have to know from Marvel Studios or hear something from Damson or whoever is portraying this role, what's happening.
Yeah.
Because for me personally, I have nothing else that I can give that's not doom and gloom. That's not, going off like I just did a few minutes ago, talking about prepping yourself. So I need to hear it from Marvel.
Toussaint is not T'Challa. T'Challa is not Toussaint. That's not the same character. You would have someone who impedes on the elevation of this great black character known as T'Challa. The one that Chadwick Boseman was trying to elevate, that character, is who you should continue trying to elevate, not Nakia's son Toussaint from Haiti, getting him older and then going, we can lead the franchise with him. All you guys needed was a male. It's not a male-female thing. It is specifically about the 59-and-a-half-year-old entity known as T'Challa the Black Panther, created by Stan Lee and Jack Kirby. Just like Bruce Banner is really important, or just like Clark Kent is really important, so is T'Challa, and he deserves to be re-envisioned with new actors and kept prominent forever and ever and ever. None of that is anything against anti-women or Letitia Wright's version of Shuri or anything like that. If they decided to make a second movie with Shuri because the main actor Chadwick died, and I would say, okay, that makes sense. You guys are going to do a second movie. It's going to be focusing on Shuri. I can see why you would do that. You got the actors in the same place. They all scheduled there that year, that summer, that they're going to be there filming in 2021. Makes sense. Yeah, sure. Thumbs up and all that's good. Don't kill T'Challa, though. Explain why he's not in the movie, but don't kill T'Challa. They decided to kill T'Challa and triple down and say that he will not be recast, as Kevin Feige has said in December of 2020, even though William Hurt is an actor who died of cancer, but they had no problem getting Harrison Ford in to play Thunderbolt Ross. It is imbalanced. It is crazy to hear Bob Iger now, this new revelation that he was part of the party visiting Ryan Coogler to console him is strange, because Bob Iger is also in charge of Lucasfilm Star Wars, where the actor who played Balin Skull, Ray Stevenson, he passed away, unfortunately, and they got Rory McCann. They got him to play Ray Stevenson's character, Balin Skull. There is no precedent in Hollywood for this. It is specifically, it stands out. It's unique that this character can't be recast for whatever attachment being made is being made. Listen to what Aldous Hodge had to say. Listen to what Derek Bozeman had to say. Listen to people who do put their mind over the impulse. It is not disrespectful to Chadwick Boseman to recast T'Challa. He is not a gatekeeper. And if you honor him in that way, then you are disrespecting his legacy by using his death to gatekeep the greatest Black character that's ever happened and achieve the points, the representation in which this character can provide. The benefit to the world as a global audience sees this movie. And he's not acting a fool or doing some of the things that we don't encourage, or the being a stereotype, or anything that our sons, we don't want them to aspire to be. He's actually doing great things. That's an important character. And just achieving that with the son is not the same thing as putting all the resources into this one character over and over again for generations, the same way Superman got, James Bond got, freaking Inspector Gadget is getting. Everyone gets this, but not T'Challa? No. We got problems here. Recast T'Challa. T'Challa is not two sons. See, I'm gonna button it up and I'll put a little thing on there and it'll be clipped. It'll be sick. You know what I really wanted to say in the middle of that was I was gonna make comparisons to Pastor Jamal Bryant, but we can save that for next time.
What do you mean comparisons to Jamal Bryant?
Do you know about the Target boycott and all that stuff?
Mm-hmm.
He folded.
Oh, did he?
Yeah.
I didn't know that. I haven't paid attention to Jamal Bryant since the explanation which I don't care to go into, but the explanation he gave on his wife's outfit at whatever event they were at. I think a lot of these TV pastors, internet pastors, or whatever you want to call them, they get so caught up because attention is a hell of a drug. I don't care what side of the fence you're on. You can be on the holier than thou side or the sinner of sinners. Attention is a hell of a drug. And these pastors like Todd, these pastors like Jamal Bryant, these pastors like corrupt, Joel Osteen's been corrupt for a while, but these other, these TV pastors, these internet pastors, these live stream pastors, they all get very corrupt and loose in their messaging, and make it about them and make it about, because his explanation on what he said about his wife and that outfit, I'm not a pastor. I don't have a pastor's wife, but there's a certain level of decorum that you act with as a person in the pulpit. So when you are coming out, whether you're in the pulpit or out of the pulpit, I understand that you are human. You're going to, but when you are going to a public event like that, you are the pastor's wife, and you being the pastor, letting your wife come out like that. And his explanation was, y'all have never been nowhere, so you don't know how to behave when you're invited to higher up places. Nigga, what? So I use Pastor Jamal Bryant loosely.
Attention whore Jamal Bryant, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah, Jamal Bryant, Michael Todd, all of them. Michael Todd posted a video the other day on his Instagram. Not on his Instagram. He posted, and I agreed with the comments. The people were saying, "Why is this on the church page?" I unfollowed him a long time ago. I thought I unfollowed the church page, but I unbeknownst to me, to that post, I didn't. But I unfollowed him after that post. He posted a post of him in his car, pulled over on the highway, blinged out, top down, talking about. I was scrolling on Twitter and I just saw something that said, young guys, something about, I don't know. He was given sex advice, and I was just like, huh, interesting.
He's got weird explanations for the Target thing too, because when everybody rejected his premise, he came back the next day. I'm sorry for the miscommunication. I didn't say the boycott was over. I said the fast was over. The Target fast is finished now. It's all on me, man. I just wanted to be more clear with my wording. The boycott's not over. No, 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 not Jamal Bryant. You just go away, please.
I will say he did give a good word on that Charlie Kirk stuff. He spoke a good little 3-minute viral clip on that. So,
Which he can do, but if Target or whoever is offering him something to guide the community into accepting Target again, then he'll be paid off for that. But who's going to pay him off on the Charlie Kirk side? You know what I mean? Like, there was no one to pay him off, so he can tell the truth and be all hard and great with words and everything. But how do you galvanize? See, you get what I'm trying to say. It's obvious that Target reached to him. Maybe they got blackmail on him. Maybe who knows what. But they shut him up real good. The thing is, he wasn't even the guy who created the boycott thing. It was some other woman who went like, "Yeah, I wasn't even invited to this meeting. What do you mean? How could you say the boycott was over?" Like, she's speaking up. All you got to do. So just the comparison to recast. All you got to do is get to the leader, and you can shut them up real good. CJH, thank you for being a member for 11 months.
Lauren said, "I hear you, but they might. They might." Like I said, I don't have that. If I have that, it's about 5% of the thinking that they might. I don't. They've all but shown me physically that he is. That they're not. Ryan has just given another little breadcrumb. Letting y'all know, hey, I don't have social media, but I hear things. I'm letting y'all know that's my boy. As I said on the Marvel, the Black Panther podcast in 2022, nobody else can play that role. He said that then. He just reiterated it. But he's for his exact words on that podcast. I remember covering it. For us, our guy was gone. He was that guy. Chadwick Boseman wasn't walking through that door, and for us, nobody else could play that role. Darius, that was in 2022. It's 2026. Feelings have changed. Clearly not. This is an interview from today or 3 days ago.
I want you to just talk a little bit about whether you even consider
You get to hang out much.
ability of recasting a T'Challa. What?
Actually, it's a 3-minute video, Darius. I'm sorry. I don't need to play the whole thing, right? I don't need to. That'd be a waste of time. You guys know. You've seen it.
Yeah, I remember.
Huh?
I remember covering that one.
Yeah. They all watched our channels, right? They know that what's to come. Not to waste too much time, everybody. But I think that does it for the stream. Shadow Lord, Oscar with Coogler's avatars in the cut, Harry Potter news. We will be back. You want to do tomorrow afternoon? I'll be free. Today, I was supposed to go in the afternoon by I am the reason why we're doing it later. I think I know I'll be fine for tomorrow if you want to go in the afternoon.
Let me check on tomorrow. If the only reason I say that, and I don't mind sharing this information, you guys know I don't mind sharing some things. Capone has his checkup from his surgery, so I think they're taking some of those stitches out tomorrow morning at 9. That's way in Edmond, so it's not that close to me. So I have to go up there. Then I have to come back here, and my cousin is again, I don't mind sharing this because it's positive. So prayers for my folks out there. Prayers. She is ringing the bell at the hospital for cancer. So she is the entire family will be there for that. So of course I can't miss that. That's at 3:00. So prayers, please, for her as she continues that journey. Also, so if I do, it'd have to be maybe earlier or later if you can't do later. But we'll have to talk about it.
The bell is such a good idea. Imagine you're a patient also, and you're like, "Oh, I know him. I've been in the hospital with him for weeks. Oh, he's ringing the bell. Oh, that's cool." And it gives you a little optimism, like it can work. I've just seen him with my own eyes. So the patients experience it, and then obviously the guy or the woman who's in remission rings the bell. I'm so happy. Yeah, loud noise. Like it's a great system that they've got. I like that.
Yeah, I'll be there for that. I've seen it on seen it on people's videos and things. So we'll all be there for that one. So
it's a whole bunch of TikToks and the songs that's playing under it. What doesn't kill you makes you stronger.
Yeah. So I'll be there for that. Other than that, if we do, maybe depends on. I gotta talk to you behind the scenes about it, but maybe this time again or noon. I don't even know if I'll be back by noon from his appointment. So we'll see. If not tomorrow, for sure Wednesday, and for sure on Thursday for Pantheon.
Yes.
Yes. Anything else you would like to add? I don't see anything.
Yeah, no, nothing dropped at midnight. Not tonight.
Yeah, no. Tom and I'll say this: Tom and Zendaya are officially married. She confirmed it. So, or where he confirmed it, I guess too on Instagram when we talked about it. But she now has. I just like them together a lot. Cute little couple.
Okay, I better not see that ring disappear like Netanyahu. You think he's dead?
Do I think he's dead? No. No, I don't.
Even if you asked me this like a month ago or longer, I would say, so what if he dies? It's that whole country who was that way. So just someone else with that ideology would just pick it up and continue.
You know, that's the same way I feel about, dumbass. It's like, I'm not rooting for it, but if it does happen, it's like, again, I've said this, it's Hydra. Cut off one head, two more will come. So yeah, it's pretty exhausting. I'm exhausted with them as well. So, But yeah, we're live. Maybe tomorrow, for sure Wednesday, for sure on Thursday, and then again on Friday. Chill and I should do Friday as well. So we're trying to get back to consistent days. So be with us possibly tomorrow, but for sure on those other days.
And the final order cutoff for the Dakota Incident second printing is March 30th. Thank you for being a friend.
Thank you for being a friend. Oh, yeah. Travel down the road and back again. Hey, so we started from the bottom, now we're here, girl. Oh, yeah. This is my part right here. Ooh, if I did the biggest gift, the biggest. Thank you for being my friend. Oh, yeah. Hallelujah.